be the final time. The Stars of the Detroit Red Wings next.
Minnesota North Stars hockey is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the NHL and the Minnesota North Stars. You can't beat the real thing. And by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself or we'll do it for you. And by Toyota and your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And by Mystic Lake Casino with slots, blackjack, high-stakes pull tabs, bingo, and restaurants located just south of Valley Fair. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by the Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
If there are to be playoffs for the Minnesota North Stars, the playoff atmosphere must begin right here, right now, tonight. Joe Louis Arena, Detroit. The North Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, the 84th game, the last game of the 1992-93 season. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JLA. The big fist is out there on the plaza, the sculpture of Joe Louis. And inside, it could be a rough, tough game as well. If the Stars have their way, it's going to be a physical one, and it's going to be right from the start. Tonight, the Stars and the Red Wings. This is Doug McLeod, and this is an evening where the Stars must win. There's no question about it. If they're going to open the playoffs in Chicago on Sunday afternoon, that's the new schedule now, on ABC TV, they've got to win here tonight, but that's not all. The Stars come in this game, the North Division standings just 1 point behind the St. Louis Blues for that coveted fourth and final playoff spot. The Blues are at home tonight against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Stars must win, and the Blues must either tie or lose. That's the only way the Stars can get in the playoffs. Well, Ralph Strangis, that's been an up-and-down season. The Stars hope to finish very much on an up note here tonight, and this is a very doable thing. Let's not cast this off from the start.
No, we shouldn't. And as my partner Al Shaver would say, if you score more goals than the other team, you got a good chance of winning the hockey game. Well, the North Stars have been outscored 22-5 in the last 5 meetings with the Detroit Red Wings. That will have to change tonight. Also, as we look at that Tampa Bay game a little bit, the Lightning have a goaltender named Pat Jablonski, whom the Blues gave up on. He will be in the nets tonight, we suspect, against the St. Louis Blues. He's already shut them out this season, and he's got a lot of incentive to knock his old teammates out of the playoffs. Also, Tampa Bay has not fallen by the wayside in any respect. They continue to be competitive. They got to win the other night.
That's right.
So this is not a done deal yet. The North Stars are still alive. It has to begin here, however. They cannot lose the game and hope to get help. They have to win this game tonight against Detroit, and it'll have to be one of the best games they've played in recent weeks.
And they played a very good game against Detroit back at Met Center just a few games ago. They had one goal they don't want to talk about, but other than that, they felt that they had finished and were playing it very strongly. Upstairs now to North Stars Hall of Fame broadcaster Al Shaver. And hello, Wally Shaver. Delighted to have you with us on our telecast tonight. Try and keep him in line the best you can, will you? Up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Mac, and good evening, everybody. I want to tell you what a thrill it is to have the first chance in 26 years to do a hockey broadcast with my oldest son, Wally, who's had quite a bit of experience in this area, Flint, Saginaw, down in Wichita, Kansas, and he's done some high school and college hockey, of course, in Minnesota. You're familiar with him in that capacity. Well, it's great, and I'm sorry we didn't have time to get you outfitted in the official company
the tie.
Duds here.
It's the tie.
It's the tie. You want the tie? Gosh, and I have an extra one in the closet home too. All right, well, listen, it's a big game tonight.
Yes.
The North Stars need it. They need it in the worst way, and they need some help. They need Tampa Bay to either tie or beat the Blues, and they need to win here themselves tonight. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's a game where I think they've got really stacked up against them. Detroit is a hot team. They've lost once in their last 10 games. They're very loose. We were down there in the pregame skate today talking with members from both teams. I think the North Stars are relaxed. They know what they have to do. But Detroit is a team that is just on a solid roll. They're the second hottest team in the league. They're going to have the work cut out for them.
And, you know, we were just checking through some things today. Only 2 of the 24 teams in the National Hockey League this year have averaged more than a goal a game against their opponents throughout the season. 84 regular season games. The only teams that have outscored their opponents by 84 more goals are Pittsburgh and the Detroit Red Wings. So it's not a bad bet that they might happen to wind up in the Stanley Cup playoffs sometime in May. Maybe June.
Maybe June. Maybe June.
Okay, well, we're just about ready to go. The team's coming out on the ice. We'll be back with tonight's opening face-off from Joe Louis Arena in just a moment.
At Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, we make automotive repairs easy. Now you have a choice. You can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. And all of our repairs and installation services are backed with guarantees assuring that you'll never have to worry about a repair or a price at Crown Auto Service Centers. And we put all of our promises in writing. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers. We make automotive repair easy.
Every 60 seconds, the lights form a teepee. Ooh, that was beautiful.
It is a nice place to meet eligible gentlemen.
If you're gonna hunt fish, Jack said, what better place than a lake named Lure? To which we unveiled some lethal weapons. Mine, a Pope Hill's pocket fisherman. And from Bev, a bucket of night crawlers and some old Milwaukee. Can it get any better than this, Jack said? Of course, that was before a 10-pound bass sniffing the old mill found my net. But as I reassured Jack, doesn't matter who caught dinner. As long as it's served with an old Milwaukee, it doesn't get any better than this.
All right, we've got a special presentation taking place out on the ice at Joe Louis Arena right now. Steve Yzerman recently recorded his 1,000th NHL point. And Mickey Redmond, a former Red Wing player and now a broadcaster on Detroit television, is going to make the presentation of a silver stick to Steve Yzerman here tonight, commemorating his 1,000th point in the National Hockey League. That is a marvelous, marvelous milestone for any player to achieve. And we can't think of anybody who's been a greater credit to the game in recent years than the same Steve Yzerman.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now let's meet tonight's goaltenders, brought to you by Upper Deck. Nobody does it like Upper Deck. The goaltender for Minnesota, John Casey, 26-25-5 record coming into this one here tonight. And for Detroit, it'll be the veteran Tim Cheveldae with 33 wins to his credit this season, 24 losses and 7 ties. And the Zebras tonight, in charge of officiating this game, we've got linesman Mark Parry and Roy Scapanello. The referee is Bill McCreary, and the supervisor of officials assigned here tonight is Matt Pavelich. Rest of the starters for Minnesota, Hatcher and Barry on defense, Broughton at center, Modano and Duchesne on the wings. For Detroit, Chason on defense with Konstantinov. At center ice, it'll be Fedorov, Eisbart, and Kozlov on the wings. And we're all set to go at Joe Louis Arena. From the face-off, the North Stars, Modano firing it in. Cheveldae with the cutoff. Konstantinov plays it to the corner. Now Broughton takes control, comes back to the net, feeds behind him. Duchesne picking it up at the half wall right. Jammed by Konstantinov. Duchesne and Konstantinov. Duchesne works free, tried to give it to Broughton. It was knocked off his stick. Duchesne's backhander past the left post. And now Fedorov starting the play back for Detroit with a feed to Eisbart. Eisbart's pass off Fedorov, and Hatcher banks it, but not out. Broughton recovers the puck in his zone. Broughton, Modano up the ice, chasing the puck as it's shot in, and wow, does that guy play ball? Did you see him take that one off the wall, Cheveldae? That was about a waist-high fastball coming off the wall, and he drills it over the third baseman for a single. Now the puck played back into the Minnesota zone, and Ludwig takes it from Casey and retreats behind. Now the pass comes on out to center ice. This is Lidstrom back in his own zone across to Coffey. Coffey advancing and gives it away to Ludwig, who starts the play back for Michael McPhee. He scores! Mike McPhee at 123, and the Stars are on the board.
McPhee has been hot lately. He picked up a goal last game out against Chicago at Met Center 2 nights ago. Almost had the tying goal with a second left in that game. And he is just taken right over here across the line, and just a real nice wrist shot. You see the defense, Paul Coffey, number 77, sagging back into his zone. He should have maybe stood him up. I'm sure next time down he will. Everybody else was covered, but that just clanked off the pipe and went straight in behind Cheveldae. Well, that's the goal they needed. They had to get the first one, and I'm convinced for the North Stars to be successful here tonight, they have to get the lead early and keep it.
Number 18 for McPhee. Obviously, the fat lady is not in the building yet. Now the puck at center ice, and the Wings get it. It's fired on in. Casey with the cutoff, then clears it around to the left for Dahlin. Got by him. It's driven back in deep by Kennedy. Burr is after it, but he's checked out, and the puck is fed to center. This is Dahlin on his off wing to Bobby Smith. His shot goes wide. A real board thumper there. Klatt after it, plays it back of the net. Smith works it loose as the defenseman Racine fell. Got up, went after it again, but Klatt has it. Klatt being checked there by the Detroit forward, and it's tied up in the corner. That is Howe leading on Racine, or on Klatt. Now Probert getting the puck and feeds it to Burr. It comes loose at center, but Probert has it again. Puts it in front, and it goes through to the corner to the right, and we're going to have our first penalty of the hockey game. The time of the penalty is going to be 2 minutes and 28 seconds, and it's going to be called for bringing down Sheldon Kennedy, no holding penalty, and the North Stars will be shorthanded, and the Wings will go on the power play. They are the best in the National Hockey League on the power play. 111 in 450 chances, 24.7%, and Bobby Smith is in the penalty box for Minnesota.
That penalty was not going to be called early on by referee McCreary, but Smitty stuck with his man like a good defensive player should, but a little bit too vigorously there as he hauled down Kennedy, and that's finally what caused McCreary to put the hand up and call the penalty. McPhee gets the goal for the North Stars, his 18th. It was unassisted at 123, and the Stars are in the position that they must be in right now, and that's with a lead. You know, they've had a good start, too. I think there's some keys here tonight for Minnesota that they have to concentrate on. They need a good game out of Mike Modano, who has been somewhat off his game in the last couple of weeks. They need to do well up along the boards, and they also need a key game out of John Casey. And if they can put those ingredients together and contain this lead, they'll be in fine shape.
Barry teams it up. It's still in the slot, and a shot goes wide to the right by Ciccarelli. It's back to the right point. Wings keeping it in. Chason to Coffey. Back to Chason. To Coffey. Now over to Yzerman. And it's broken up by Broughton. Picks off the pass by Yzerman. He was trying to get it to Coffey. Broughton doing a great job at keeping it away from the Wings. Drops it back in his zone, and it's cleared all the way down the ice by Barry. The Wings back for a regroup, and here they come with Chason. He's got Coffey to his left. Strong right. Dumps it in, but right at Ludwig. Ludwig's clearing attempt. Held in right at the line, but now Hatcher gains control and drills it down the ice. Chason back to pick it up after Cheveldae cuts it off behind. To Coffey. Fires it in. Got by Casey behind. In the right corner, Hatcher sandwiched between two defenders. It's played back to the near boards. Wings trying to keep it in. Hatcher breaks it up, clears it around behind. Yzerman is there in front. And we've got a stoppage of play as the puck goes out of play, and they'll face it off back in the neutral zone. This is the 7th and final regular season game between the Stars and Red Wings. The Wings lead the series 4-1 with a tie. In 4 meetings at Met Center, the North Stars tied Detroit 3-all, but they lost the next 3, 4-1, 7-1, and 6-2. Here in Joe Louis Arena on December 3rd, the North Stars beat the Wings 4-2. They lost their last time here 5-1 on March 18th. The Wings have outscored the North Stars 27-12 in the 6 games.
Great play of that last centering attempt by the Wings. It's the only real opportunity they've had here in this power play, but it went off the shaft of the stick and into the crowd. Minnesota's done a super job at keeping Detroit to the outside and have really given them nothing at all in the middle of the rink tonight.
The North Stars clearing, but it was deflected back onto the ice after going out of play, and we'll have a face-off back in the Minnesota zone. The penalty on Smith is down to 37 seconds remaining. Each of the Detroit Red Wings is $8,500 richer for finishing second in the final Norris Division standings. They're locked in to that position. The Chicago Blackhawks finish first in the division, and each Blackhawk gets $18,000 as his share of the first place finish. Nice little bonus.
Boy, is that ever. Stars missing out on a bonus of their own of $10,000 a player if they would reach 85 points this year, and even with a win tonight, they would come in with 84.
From the faceoff, Fedorov loses his helmet, and the puck is fed back to the right point. Howe got to it to keep it into Kozlov, but it's broken up and it's cleared by Hatcher. It goes out of play, and that'll cause another faceoff inside the Minnesota zone with 24 seconds remaining in Bobby Smith's penalty.
Take a look at Neil Broughton, who's picked up some honors of his own in recent weeks with the Minnesota North Stars, picking up a silver stick for his tenure in Minnesota, now in his 13th season. He gets lots of ice time all season long. He'll get a lot of ice time tonight.
Rod's got the better deal. His stick was real silver. The one they gave Yzerman tonight was just chrome. Now from the faceoff, this is Gordy's boy. Howe over to Lidstrom, centering pass. Eisbart deflecting it just wide. Now it's Fedorov getting jammed to the boards by Ludwig. The Wings keeping it in. Howe's shot goes wide. Still in the zone. Bobby Smith getting set to return. He's on in 3. Puck is cleared. The North Stars will get out of this one. Bobby's on. Here comes Howe. Howe's pass blocked by Propp. Here's Bobby Smith trying to get back and cut him off his Howe. Smith dumps it in deep to the left corner. Propp's pass off a stick comes in the slot, and Eisbart starts Fedorov back. Sergei Fedorov firing right across the front of the net out to the left point. Racine shoots, and that goes in the corner to the right off the stick of Gallant. Now a clearing attempt. Racine trying to keep it in along with Fedorov. The puck comes on out to center. Back into the Detroit zone. For it comes Sergei Fedorov. Chased back to the net by Propp. Gives it to Racine. Long pass up the right side now as the Wings come in on the attack. Shot now by Kozlov goes wide. Kept in, and a pass to the left corner picked off. Modano takes a hit, and the man who checked him goes down as the puck is played back in the Detroit zone and blocked there by Cheveldae. Back comes Konstantinov. His pass is picked off, played back into the Detroit zone, but Dahlin couldn't get control of it. Now Dallas Drake playing helmetless, banking it out off the board. Platt starting it back into Dahlin, and he goes down as he runs into Konstantinov. Drake picking up a pass. Back he comes. He got by the sweep check of Smith. Now gets a drop pass back from Hiller, and got all tied up. Now it's fed to the slot, but it was tipped away from Hiller and out to center. And again, Coffey has it for the Red Wings. Back in comes Coffey, and his pass is intercepted, and the North Stars clearing it out as Gagne plays it out off the board. Driven back in by Lidstrom. On the far side, the Wings Drake Still helmetless. His pass kept in by Lindstrom. Back to Drake. Trying to get away from Ludwig. Got forced back to the net. Got stapled there and knocked down by Hatcher. And the puck is cleared by Gagne. Coffey will get to it first.
Boy, this has been a fast-paced period. There's only 7 minutes have gone by. We've hardly had a whistle.
Yeah. Now here's Hatcher sending Gagne in. A shot blocked. And it's cleared away. Cicerelli check. North Stars keeping it in. McPhee fell. Gagne in the corner. Trying to center. Coffey deflects it. And it's cleared back inside the Minnesota line. Now the Stars out with a pass that got by Courteau. And starting back for Detroit is Konstantinov. Overpasses Cicerelli. Casey cutting it off. Cleared right, Madonna. Long pass to center, Duchesne. Against Konstantinov. Moves into the zone, but it's offside. And with 12:33 remaining in the first period, the North Stars lead 1-0. This is North Stars hockey.
For all those people reaching for more, just a reminder, it's what's inside that counts. Diet Coke. Taste it all.
First, Buick was the talk of the show.
I ended up going to look at various cars, and the Buick definitely grabbed my eye, and I just think it's a great-looking car.
Now, Buick's the talk of the town during your Better Buick Dealers Auto Show Savings Spectacular. Save on every Buick, including LeSaver, the state's bestseller, anniversary price to just $18,999, a $2,900 price rollback.
Buick has the right product that people want.
And we're lucky to have a Buick.
Yes.
Buick's Auto Show Savings Spectacular at your Better Buick dealer now.
I feel honored to be surrounded by Hall of Famers tonight. Hugh on my left and Bob Gainey back in behind the Minnesota bench.
Well, Mr. Gainey is a very deserving recipient of that honor just a year ago. And the North Stars back for the puck in their own zone as Gallant puts it in deep. Clearing attempt on the right side, kept in now by Chason, fires it around left corner, Duchesne, checked by Yzerman. The puck is poked out to the blue line. Konstantinov unable to keep it in as Broughton knocked it loose. Now it's played back in. Ludwig across to Madonna. Comes back in his zone to get control and then feeds a pass that goes the length of the ice. And we're going to have an icing call. And they'll go back in the Minnesota zone for the faceoff. Minnesota leads at 1-0 after 8 minutes of play in the first period. This is North Star.
If you looked up the word value in the dictionary, you know what you'd find? A picture of the Toyota Corolla. Corolla comes in the same family as the Camry, but it's all new. For less than $200 a month, you can have all the power, room, and safety that over 25 years of engineering have put into the new Corolla. Oh, and if you looked up quality, you know what you'd find? A whole line of Toyotas. See a Toyota dealer today. You'll find him under savings. You could look it up.
Folks, sorry we're taking so long to get out of the gate. Guess a few of our flying friends are out there ahead of us.
Jeez, I'm really starting to hate those guys.
Folks, still a few things to take care of up here, and still a few of our good buddies out there.
We're gonna be late!
Next time, fly the airline with the best on-time record in the country.
Hey, if they wanted to be on time, they should have flown Northwest.
Call Northwest Airlines. Some people just know how to fly.
Mike McPhee is a North Star who gets himself a lot of good scoring opportunities. This wasn't one of the better ones with a shot coming from 50 feet out, but he snapped it off perfectly between the legs of defenseman Paul Coffey, and that has given the Stars a 1-0 lead that they now enjoy.
Here's Probert firing, and Casey makes his first save of the hockey game. That's Detroit's first shot on goal. Back at center, Sheldon Kennedy dumping it in deep. Casey out to the cutoff. And back to the net now. Barry clear to the right. Probert centering pass is intercepted. And here comes Dolan down his off wing, firing it in. Doubleday out to cut it. And Racine clears it around on the right, too far for Kennedy. The Stars keep it in. Long shot. Just wide to the left. Dolan was cruising in front. And
and almost put it in the net. Now it's picked up by Bobby Smith, dropping it off into the corner as the Stars trying to add to their 1-0 lead here. Racine trying to tie it up along the boards. It goes to Probert. Probert giving it to Kennedy. Kennedy dumping it in. Casey knocked it down, and it's brought back to the net by Hatcher. Hatcher banking it off the boards, and it's relayed out of the zone by McPhee. The Stars change on the fly. So do the Wings, who start back with Coffey lobbing it in. Ludwig clearing, and Lidstrom takes over at center across to Coffey. Coffey banking it ahead. Chodin checking Kozlov as he dumps it in. Now Gagne feeding it up the left side. Lidstrom tried to hold it in, but it comes on out to center, right in front of the Minnesota bench. Now Coffey picking it off. Puts it right back in, and this is Ludwig back. There's around on the left, McPhee coming back to control. Chased by Kozlov. Now plays it to the left wing side, and from there it's cleared on out of the zone. And it winds up deflecting out of play. Cheveldae in goal for Detroit tonight. Ranks 4th among all NHL goaltenders in wins. He's got 33 of them. The only ones with more wins are Barrasso of Pittsburgh with 43, Belfer of Chicago with 39, and Andy Moog of Boston with 36. Cheveldae is also tied for 3rd in shutouts with 4. The leader there, Belfer of Chicago, with 7, and the newcomer Tommy Soderstrom of Philadelphia with 5. Now Propp after the puck, but Cheveldae out to clear. Shot by Craig, deflected back of the net. North Stars keeping the pressure on. This is Craig again, and he fires, and Coffey deflects this one out of play.
Stars have outshot Detroit 4-2 in this game. As you take a look at a guy that needs to pad some shots, Mike Pagano, and hasn't been the hottest North Star over the last 10 games, but I really feel that he is important to get some goals here tonight and put out a good effort. He's got tremendous speed, and he needs unloaded here tonight. Although we have to say that Mike has had an outstanding year overall. He's put up his best numbers yet.
93 points, which is tops on the club, including his 36 assists. But there was a survey conducted by the Detroit News, the results of which were in today's edition of the News. And it was a survey taken only of Detroit Red Wing players. And in the survey, they ranked Michael Modano as the most overrated player in the National Hockey League. But Mike shouldn't be upset, because one of the Red Wings surveyed rated his own teammate Sergei Fedorov as the most overrated player in the league. Now we've got an offside against the Wings.
How could you do that? How could you put your own man in an overrated position?
The other winners in the survey were best player Mario Lemieux, toughest player Bob Probert, no argument, best goaltender Eddie Belfour, the best coach Pat Burns of Toronto, best defenseman Chris Chelios of Chicago, the best wingers Kevin Stevens of Pittsburgh and Teemu Selanne, the rookie with Winnipeg. The most underrated players, a tie, Joe Sakic of Quebec and Doug Gilmour of Toronto. And here's the payoff of the survey. The question was asked, if you were traded, what place would you least want to be traded to?
And the answer is
the Winnipeg Jets. I'm sorry, Winnipeg. The puck at center, and the Stars control. It's brought in, and this is Ludwig firing. Save Cheveldae. Racine getting the puck. He's checked. It comes loose. It stays in the zone momentarily, but now it's cleared out. And the Wings come starting right back here. Oh, Eiserman belted down by Chodin. Chodin, big check, Tommy. Oh, you don't do that to Mr. Eiserman. Holy mackerel.
And they've got a few boys around to remind Mr. Chodin not to do it again. We will have to see if that will take place. Stars up on top.
Champion Auto Stores. Right products, right prices, and right answers. You get all 3 at Champion Auto Stores. And now you get a choice, too. You can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. Crown Auto Service Centers are now part of the Right Answers team of Champion Auto Stores. At Crown Auto Service Centers, you get everything you've come to expect from Champion Auto, plus we'll do it for you. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers. We make automotive repair easy.
if you're tired of walking all the way to the curb to get your morning paper.
Oh, there he is again.
Imagine how your neighbors must feel. Instead, get the Pioneer Press delivered to your doorstep by calling 291-1888.
There he is in the middle of that trio of North Stars with the visor on. Tommy Shodin, known for his offensive exploits, but boy, does he lay a check out on Steve Yzerman, the 4th in the league in scoring. That ought to slow him down a tad.
The Swedish hitman. Konstantinov shot deflected to the right corner. The Wings keeping it in. Now Konstantinov fired another shot that was blocked. And the Stars Modano slipping it rink wide to the left. Back on the attack, McPhee. Unload. No, he didn't. Tried to go by Chason. Lost the puck. Battles to get it back with Chason. In the corner. Stars get control. It's brought in front. Craig lost it. Kozlov feeds it out on the right side. This is Yzerman dropping it off. Kozlov closing in, and his pass goes behind Konstantinov, and the Stars attack with Modano. Slips it to the left. Closing. Centering. And here's another chance. Modano. He couldn't tuck it. Chevrolet cut him off at the left post. Good stop, Chevrolet and Modano, as he tried to manipulate the puck past him. Now it's cleared back into the Minnesota zone, and the Stars race out again. Leading 1-0 as the feed goes to Courtnall. Broken up by Coffey. Now this is Ogrodnik. Passing off. Drake was checked out by Gagne, and it's cleared back into the Detroit zone. Chevrolet starting out to get it away from Courtnall. Courtnall putting it in front. Gagne had a whack. It deflects up in the air. We've got a penalty on Detroit. It's going to be called.
Interference on Probert. Is it Probert?
No, that's not Probert. That's
Dallas Drake.
Dallas Drake going, the rookie.
Here's why they had to call that. Now watch as the puck is up in the air. Anytime you take away a scoring opportunity, you're going to get a penalty call. And that's exactly what Dallas Drake there did as he came in and belted the North Star player. You're going to see it rise high up into the air here. And that's Modano's chance a bit earlier. The North Stars had a great breakout going there because they floated up a little bit high when they're back in their own zone. It caught Detroit with too many guys deep, and the Stars broke out with a great effort. You know, Minnesota's really played well here tonight, Al.
Yes, they have.
They've outshot the Wings 6-2. It took Detroit 8.5 minutes to get their first shot on goal. And this is one of the highest scoring teams in the league this year. Second only to Pittsburgh.
Sean Burr taking the face-off for Detroit against Modano. Courtnall now giving it to Shodin. Plays it ahead. Modano firing it around behind. And Yzerman comes up with it, delivers it to Burr. And Burr clears. Wings very tough defensively. Team goals against average is 3.31. That ranks them 7th in the NHL on defense. Behind Chicago, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Boston, Vancouver, and St. Louis. Now they break it up again and dump it down the ice. Detroit's penalty killing, 81.3%. Now Shodin fires it in. It winds around behind Modano, picking it up. Off the boards, put it in front, gets it back to the right point. Shodin to Modano. Half wall left. Side wraparound drop blocked by Chevrolet. And he's got it covered. And we'll have a face-off in the Detroit zone with 6:40 remaining in the first period. The Stars leading 1-0. Drake has 1:06 remaining in his penalty. Few players out. Missing for Detroit tonight. Ray Shepard with a groin pull. Mark Howe back after missing 6 of the last 7 with a neck injury. For Minnesota, Captain Mark Tenorti sidelined with a broken collarbone. Jimmy Johnson with a knee injury. Stuart Gavin with a knee injury. Brent Gilchrist with a shoulder distance separation. Shane Churla missing because of a suspension. So the Stars missing a few of their key people here tonight. Sergei Fedorov will take the face-off against Dave Gagne. Of course, the game at St. Louis against Tampa Bay won't start for another hour. And the puck was left there, and Eisbart picks it up, gives it to Fedorov. Now across. Christina shot. It goes wide left, put out in front. Eisbart to Fedorov. And he flipped the backhander across the front of the net, and now Gagne picking it up. Gagne to Craig.
control with Matvichuk driving it in, and Chevrolet cutting it off for Howe. Howe clearing it. Comes all the way back, and Casey out to his left to start the play back to Chodine. 6 minutes left in the period. Dolan put it out in front, and Gagne couldn't get to it. He was boxed off by Howe. Now the puck controlled by Kozlov. Lifts it to the right, and it's cleared on down the ice by Racine. 8 seconds left in Drake's penalty time. Last charge was a man advantage for the North Stars. Bobby Smith dropping it off. Chodine almost lost it. He did lose it. This is Kozlov. And his long shot goes wide left. Kropp has it. The wings back at full strength with Drake's return. Chodine with the puck. Brings it to Kropp, who dumps it in, but Lidstrom quickly clears. Casey lets it go to get the icing call. And they'll go back in the Detroit zone for the faceoff.
A lot of things working well tonight for the Stars. They're getting the shots on goal. They got the lead early in the contest and have maintained it on McPhee's 18th of the year. But this guy, Brian Murray, has been a strong performer, and he just recently had a really nice honor bestowed upon him as he passed up Toe Blake and became the 8th person overall in games coached in the National Hockey League. He got his 915th game in last Saturday night. That's quite an honor to pass up a guy like Toe Blake, who was around for years.
Sure is, and I'm sure that Toe would be the first to congratulate him if he was even aware of it. But they tell me he's in very, very bad shape in a Montreal hospital because of Alzheimer's disease. We've got an icing call against Detroit. Oh, yeah, I remember him as such a vibrant person. Going back to the 40s there when he was on that great Montreal line with Elmer Locke at center and Rocket Richard on right wing. It was one of the all-time great lines in the NHL. Oh, was a little older than his line mates at the time. Hector Toe Blake.
He had some great teams with him in the 50s, too, when they won all those Stanley Cups.
Great coach. I remember standing outside the Montreal dressing room at Met Center once waiting to interview him, and it took half an hour to deliver a pep talk to his team before they went out on the ice for their morning skate on the day of a game. Now here's Coffey moving and puts it in front. Backhand shot, Yzerman. It's deflected away to the left. Lidstrom playing it behind. Yzerman picking it up again, passing off. Gallant fired wide. This is Lidstrom, and he loses it. And it's cleared back into the Detroit zone. This will cost the North Stars icing. Getting back to touch up is Paul Coffey. Coffey is the NHL's second highest scoring defenseman at the moment with 86 points, 12 goals, 74 assists. The only defenseman outscoring him is the kid from South St. Paul, Philippe Housley, who has 96 points, including 18 goals and 78 assists. Our congratulations, Philip. You're having a great year up there in Winnipeg, and you are the pride of the Packers.
Well, I tell you, a lot of people thought maybe Housley is at the end of his career, too. And here he's inches away from a 100-point season.
I like to watch him move the puck.
That must be a hockey player. Hey, an old-time hockey player. No face mask for that kid. We need more of that in hockey.
Yeah.
Remember Bobby Clark when he was North Stars GM, but in his playing days, he'd make that smile, and there was nothing there.
It looked like the picket fence.
The black hole.
Smiled. Yep.
Brian Murray's not too concerned about his Detroit Red Wings right now. They are in a solid and nowhere to go second place. They will meet the Toronto Maple Leafs, a team that is just 2 points behind them, but cannot eclipse Detroit for second place. And they're looking forward to that series. They feel they'll do well against Toronto. And that's been a great turnaround story this year, too, of what the Leafs have done.
That's been the biggest comeback of the year, the Toronto team. Wings and Leafs were 3-3-1 in 7 games against each other. So it could be quite a good series. Oh! Now the puck comes out to center, and that was Kennedy colliding there with Matvichuk, and they both went down. Puck played back into the Minnesota zone. Matvichuk slips it across to Ludwig. Now on out to center. Courtnall working against Chason. Chason crowds him off. Courtnall falls. Chason putting it to center. It went off Burr, but Probert carries on. Probert steered away to the left corner and taken out of the play effectively by Ludwig. Has it again. Fired a shot. That was blocked.
The puck comes loose, and it's kicked out by Gagne, who recovers, plays it in. Kortnall pursuing, but Konstantinov cleared it away from him. Now McPhee comes back to the net. He's checked, crashes into the boards as he bounced off the check from Konstantinov, and the wings back out at center with Bird dumping it in. Now Bobby Smith, looking like Bobby Smith of 1978. Look at him come in here. Wow, against Racine. Back to the point, a shot by Barry, and just wide to the left. Platt tried to dig it loose and did. He got jammed by Howe. Now the puck comes loose and the Wings get control with Drake. Drake leaving it for Ogrodnik coming up on his left. He's a sniper, but not this time. He goes down as he ran into Hatcher, and Bobby Smith brings the puck back to the net. Smith a lob. Platt after with Howe. Platt has it, backhands it in as he's checked by Howe in front of the Detroit bench. Both teams changing on the fly. Less than 3 minutes left in the first period. 1-0 Minnesota, and the Wings attacking at center. Brought in, and a drive from the left side is gloved by Casey. And we will have a face-off in the Minnesota zone. A little crowding going on, and 2:36 remaining.
I don't think Detroit has been too involved in this game. Up until a few shifts ago when Dino was out there, he had his helmet knocked off, and he got rattled pretty good. And since then, Detroit's come back, thrown the weight around a little bit, and it seems to have sparked them somewhat. I would have to think, though, that once Brian Murray takes his troops into the dressing room, he's not going to be very happy with the fact that the Wings have only got 3 shots on goal in this period.
Looking ahead to the playoffs, Detroit does not have a losing record against any team in its own Norris division. They're 21-12-3 against Norris teams. They played Chicago 9 times and won the series 5-4 with no ties. They're 4-1-1 against the North Stars, 6-1-0 against Tampa Bay. And the teams that might give them some trouble, St. Louis and Toronto, they wound up 3-3-1 against both the Blues and the Maple Leafs. They will finish second, and they will face Toronto in the first round. And against the Leafs, they were 3-3-1. This is Lidstrom. Casey, pad save, rebound, another save, and it's cleared past Lidstrom. There'll be no icing. He was in position. Cheveldae out to set it up.
Those are the closest try the Wings have had tonight. Hatcher made a good play by just swatting it up the middle out of the zone. He saw the alley.
Fedorov loses it as he runs into the defense, and back comes Modano. Passing off, getting a return from Broughton, but it's broken up by Lidstrom. Nicholas Lidstrom to Kozlov. Vyacheslav Kozlov. Well-known household name here in Detroit. Heard of Kozlov Motors? They make the Kozlov Mobile. Big seller here in Detroit. Now Broughton giving it to Modano, but the Duke is offside, and we're down to 1:47 left in the first period. The North Stars leading 1-0 on an unassisted goal by Michael McPhee at 1:23 of the opening period.
What is a Kozlov Mobile?
Well, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't even heard of it.
I'll tell you, they're importing them from Russia, and they're starting to make them right here in Detroit. It's convertible.
In case you lose your helmet, right? John Casey looking sharp. This is the best chances that Detroit has had all game. John bouncing right back to his skates after the initial save, and you watch his feet. He's planted and ready for the rebound.
That's a great shot. Isn't it over the overhead there on the goal?
I think that's cameras they use for the replays, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I wonder if they know we're pilfering. Chase on. Firing it in off the wall. No icing. Casey had to handle it. Centering pass, and it's broken up in the slot. And the Stars come out. Hatcher feeding it ahead, and it's dumped in from center by Prop. Cheveldae cutting it off. Chase on rings it. Kept in now, fed into the slot. Here's a shot by Craig. Cheveldae to save. Craig trying to center. Blocked at the side. And we've got a penalty being called. And Craig is going to go after Konstantinov. And the penalty called against Detroit. The North Stars are going to get their second chance on the power play. At 18:45, only 1:15 left in the period. Let's
take a look at it.
Pick it up here. Watch the right of your screen. A little action going on in front, and then boom, the skates haul out from under him by Konstantinov. He's been a good, rugged defenseman all season long for Detroit, and I think he's adjusted extremely well to the NHL style, but you can't take a guy out like that when he's in scoring position. So Prop goes down, Konstantinov goes off, and the North Stars get their second power play of the game.
The Red Wings don't take a lot of penalties. They're 14th among 24 teams in the penalty standings. They average 22 minutes a game. The North Stars are 9th. They are averaging 22.5, but as you can see, 5 places separating them, but only half a minute a game. Stars overall average.
Stars power play is actually 13th in the league, but they could sure use a goal here. It'd be huge if they could go in with a 2-0 lead in the intermission.
Well, let's do it. What are we waiting for? It's cleared by Chason. Uh-oh, here come the Wings. Look out, Eisner. Oh, and Casey. Wow, did he play that well? Did he play that well? If that pass gets by him, there's a whole 24 square feet of empty net for somebody to plunk it into, but he covered Yzerman well all the way.
And it was a 2-on-1 situation. Yzerman sees 2 players going to the net. 2 Stars collide. Yzerman has a whole alley there to drive a semi through in which he can maneuver Casey. But Johnny just riding with him, going to his left. Watch John skates. He keeps him planted till the last moment and snaps the glove out when Yzerman really was at quite a sharp angle. Finally release it.
We're into the final minute of the first period as Shodin puts it on out to the blue line, then gets it back from his Swedish teammate Dahlin. Gives it back to Dahlin, who runs into Chason. Now Dahlin recovering the puck again at center. Feeds it ahead as the Stars come in with Gagne on the power play. Written off by Chason. Very physical play by the Detroit defense. They go right after you. They'll drive you to the wall. Now Chason losing out. Courtnall into the slot. Here's Hatcher. Kicked out by Chevelday. Gagne recovers. Courtnall's parked in the slot, but it goes to Hatcher. To Shodin. Saved by Chevelday. Gloving it and holding it. North Star power play coming in here. 84 of 441. That's 19% on the button.
Difference in 2 shots here. You saw the one by Hatcher. He had to shoot it over the defenseman, but Shodin could keep his shot down because nobody went to sprawl. But that puck just 8 inches off the ice over the pad of Chevelday. But watch him get the mid on it here. And well out to challenge, too.
During the first intermission, an interview between Ralph Strangis and Bob Gainey. Pardon me, Ralph Strangis and Neil Broughton. We'll get it right.
We'll also have some Bob Gainey hockey tips, and we'll have the top 5 saves coming at you.
This is Shodin firing, and that hit his own man, Smith, who tried to put it in front, but it goes back to the net. And Paul Coffey clears it all the way down. Shodin picks it up. And we're down to the final seconds, and that's it for period number 1 here in the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. The North Stars leading 1-0 after 1 on a goal by Mike McPhee. And we'll be back with our intermission in just a moment. North Stars leading 1-0, and this is North Stars hockey.
Every 60 seconds, the lights form a teepee. Ooh, that was beautiful.
It is a nice place to meet eligible gentlemen.
If you looked up the word value in the dictionary, you know what you'd find? A picture of the Toyota Camry. Camry has been called the best car built in the U.S. Right now, there is a very attractive lease program available on Camry, so you can drive a Camry right away and experience all the advantages of Toyota quality. Oh, and if you looked up quality, you know what you'd find? A whole line of Toyotas. See a Toyota dealer today. You'll find him under savings. You could look it up.
You've got to see it to believe it. Who told you you can't have it all? You'll have a ball. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena in the Motor City. The Minnesota North Stars and the Detroit Red Wings have one period under their belts. We'll come back with more hockey action in a few moments. But now it's time to spend a little time with Minnesota North Stars centerman Neil Broughton. And Neil, tonight is the night. This is the big game. You need a little help from across the way. The Tampa Bay Lightning have to help you out a little bit, but you guys still have a pretty good shot at making the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to focus on our game and win our game, and whatever happens in St. Louis happens. So we got to put ourselves in the best position we can and win our game and try getting ahead of them, and hopefully Tampa Bay can tie or beat St. Louis. And we just got to focus on ourselves, and hopefully we can play a great game and win here.
The other night against the Chicago Blackhawks, I thought this club played a terrific game. The Minnesota North Stars just didn't quite get the bounces, and what a night it was at Met Center with all the fans and everything.
Well, we can't score in the first period. We've had our troubles lately, and if we don't score in the first period and the team gets ahead of us, it's hard for us to come from behind. So I think our goal tonight will be to try to get a goal early, or get a couple goals early would be nice, and then we'll work from there. But we got to get by that first period and get a lead and work from there.
You've shaken off a lot of distractions and injuries to get yourself to this point, an opportunity to play in the playoffs. Neil, how is the attitude of this club right now?
Well, I think our attitude is good. We played I think we played one bad game out of the last 5. We lost in St. Louis 5-1, but we won 3 before that, and then we played, I thought, pretty good game against Chicago, and we lost 3-2. But I think we're playing fairly good right now. It's just a matter of us, to get a goal early, and if we can do that tonight, I think we'll have a good chance of winning this game.
New line combination was inserted the other night against Chicago. Your line mate, Gaetan Duchesne, who you're very familiar with. You look over on the other side, and now you got a little speed to burn. Mike Modano's on that line, too.
Yeah, he's been juggling a little bit. We don't get that much 5-on-5, ice, but Gaetan and Mike's got, he's just a great player, and we're trying to get him the puck and go out there and, help the team score. And Mike hasn't played that side very much this year. He's been center, so we're just trying to do what we can do, put as much offense and get as much offense as possible, and hopefully tonight will be the night.
Well, Neil, good luck, continued success throughout this hockey game, and look for a little help, and let's see you this weekend in Chicago.
Thank you.
Neil Broughton of the Minnesota North Stars. And coming up next, Bob Gainey's Coca-Cola Classic hockey tips, as well as the top 5 saves of the week, when we continue from Joe Louis Arena in the Motor City.
If you're gonna hunt fish, Jack said, what better place than a lake named Lure, to which we unveiled some lethal weapons. Mine, a Pope Hill's Pocket Fisherman, and from Bev, a bucket of night crawlers and some Old Milwaukee. Can it get any better than this, Jack said? Of course, that was before a 10-pound bass sniffing the old mill found my net. But as I reassured Jack, doesn't matter who caught dinner. As long as it's served with an Old Milwaukee, it doesn't get any better than this.
Voyage to Deep Space Nine, where an alien virus sabotages the station.
It's mutated into an airborne variety, which means the whole station is infected.
Who created this virus?
The Bajillans, sir.
Now, catastrophe threatens the outpost.
I can't allow you to break quarantine. Better let her go, Cisco. She's all we've got.
And survival lies in Kira's hands.
This is kidnapping.
All I want is the antidote.
Next time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Sunday night at 8 on Minnesota 9.
Some people just know how to fly.
Flying? Flying?
I'll show you how to fly.
And they aim it high.
Excuse me?
This
flying.
You guys call that flying?
Maybe. They call that flying. Wrong. Northwest is flying.
According to J.D. Power and Associates, Northwest is the top-rated airline for long flights.
First, Buick was the talk of the show.
I ended up going to look at various cars, and the Buick definitely grabbed my eye, and I just think it's a great-looking car.
Now Buick's the talk of the town during your Better Buick Dealers Auto Show Savings Spectacular. Save on every Buick, including LeSabre, the state's bestseller, anniversary priced at just $18,999, a $2,900 price rollback.
Buick has the right product that people want.
And we're lucky to have a Buick.
Yes.
Buick's Auto Show Savings Spectacular at your Better Buick dealer now.
Lesson 23, penalty killing. Any good team at some point in the game is going to have to take a penalty, Willard. And when you do, you need the guys on the ice who can dig you out of that hole and get you back to even strength without a goal going in your net.
Right, penalty killing is hard work. When you come back in your zone, you must play good position. Try to get control, get the puck out of the zone, look for a change, get new people on the ice.
We'll come right back with an example of the North Stars penalty killing.
Times I can't forget the hero who's my friend. I know that it's forever. The real thing, Coca-Cola Classic, can't beat the real thing.
Penalty killing. Every team at some time will find themselves with a man in the penalty box and have to play one man short on the ice. And we do have ways worked out where we try to minimize the effect of playing with one less player on the ice. Here you can see the North Stars set up in their defensive zone. The opposition has possession of the puck here, and the North Stars are set up in what is referred to as a defensive box. And you can see that these four players control the important scoring area on the ice, and there are no opposition players or the puck isn't in this area.
Coach, they did a tremendous job on this penalty kill. You can see they're keeping the opposition to the outside. You can see here where Broughton was going to get the puck, loose puck, comes up the boards, and he clears it, and now they get the chance to change the forecheckers. Now, it's very important, young hockey players, that everybody does their job. You have four people out there, everyone does their job, and you're going to be successful.
Time now for another heaping helping of top five saves.
Down to 34 left on the power play. Rangers can't clear. Velikov dropped it. The shot. Save Richter! Oh, what a beauty. A horrific save by Mike Richter.
Now Brown for St. Louis. Fires it out to center. Bouncing puck eludes Gianni. Roenick over the line for Murphy. Tees it up. Shooting. It's blocked to Murphy. And a save by Joseph in the final second of the game. And a game-saving stop by the MVP of the Blues, Curtis Joseph. Unbelievable finish. Worked it loose to the line. Chelios deep slot to Smith. Center one to Larmer cutting in. Oh, how did Waugh stop that? Patrick Waugh seemed to chip over one of his own teammates, and he was, as he was falling to his left, reached up and gloved it with a miraculous save.
To Shaw. Now McIver gets it again. Slap shot, rebound. Oh, what a save! I don't believe that one on Jamie Baker. 5 Bergeron. Larceny there.
Larceny, holy moly!
Pénalty là qui viennent
devant les Capitals. C'est raté une belle chance encore une fois. Qui va le faire? Oh! Quel arrêt d'Extard. Est-ce qu'il a la rondelle dans son gant?
Oui. Extard qui lève le bras et vole littéralement les...
We're here in San Francisco to ask the experts why everyone loves the Hardee's Frisco Burger so much.
Sourdough bread.
Well, what could be more irresistible than Hardee's thick quarter-pound burger?
Sourdough bread.
How about the crispy bacon, sliced tomato, and melted Swiss?
A unique taste. A perfect match for grilled sourdough.
Say, aren't you guys just a little biased?
Nope.
Hardee's Frisco Burger. What sourdough's been waiting for? And in the morning, enjoy a Hardee's Frisco breakfast sandwich.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's.
You've got to see it to believe it. Who told you you can't have it all? You'll have a ball. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
If you're gonna hunt fish, Jack said, what better place than a lake named Lure? To which we unveiled some lethal weapons. Mine, a Pope Peel's pocket fisherman. And from Bev, a bucket of night crawlers and some old Milwaukee. Can it get any better than this, Jack said? Of course, that was before a 10-pound bass sniffing the old mill found my net. But as I reassured Jack, doesn't matter who caught dinner. As long as it's served with an old Milwaukee, it doesn't get any better than this.
If the first thing you do when you get home is take off your shoes, you're wearing the wrong shoes. Introducing Dockers shoes. They look like Dockers. They fit like Dockers. They feel like Dockers. They're Dockers shoes. The easiest pair of shoes you'll ever buy. Ask for them in your favorite style and color at Dayton's.
Tonight's NHL Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself or we'll do it for you. And that's the big game up on top that we're looking for. It's going to be starting in just about 5 minutes from now. Tampa at St. Louis. Toronto is also at Chicago tonight to round out Norris Division play. And the Philadelphia Flyers leading the Buffalo Sabres 1-0. They're in their second period. And getting underway in a few short moments, Edmonton is at Winnipeg tonight. Edmonton out of the playoffs. San Jose will be at Calgary. That'll be starting in another hour. And Vancouver at Los Angeles out on the West Coast tonight.
Well, here's what happened here in the first period. The Minnesota North Stars got the only goal of the period and take a 1-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings. And when we go to the second period, the North Stars will have a man advantage for the first 45 seconds because of the penalty on Konstantinov. North Stars played a very solid period. They outshot the Red Wings 10-6. The only player on either team who had more than one shot on goal, Michael Craig with 3. Some good hard checking out there, but overall a very clean period of hockey. And of course, this ordinarily would have been the last night of the regular season, but because of those storm games that were canceled out east a few weeks ago, there will be a number of games played in the league tomorrow night, makeup games. So an extra day has been added to the NHL schedule because of that.
And the North Stars leading this one 1-0. They don't need any extra time because their time now is just 2 periods away. It's not a do-or-die game. It's a do-or-move game. And here's what happened as the Detroit Red Wing defense moved a little bit too far back. Number 77 is Paul Coffey. Mike McPhee coming in, snapped a nice wrist shot. And that was a 1-0 goal for the Stars. 1 assist was added to Craig Ludwig. But the big save of the period came by Stars goalie Casey. This is a shorthanded situation for Steve Yzerman as he comes in solo, crossing through the slot and picking up a nice shot. As you see him going through here, 3 players colliding. That sprung Yzerman with a wide open alley to go into. But Johnny was on the spot.
10-6 the shots favoring Minnesota. They've added an assist on the North Star goal. It originally was Mike McPhee unassisted, but they've given one to Craig Ludwig, a defenseman of the stay-at-home variety who does not normally get an awful lot of points in the course of a season.
You were commenting earlier off camera that Craig Ludwig is a throwback to the old-time defenseman in the NHL. He stays at home. He does what a defenseman's name suggests he should do. He defends, and he does it well.
He does it well.
Old Rawhide, he's got must have black and blue spots all over him at the end of a hockey season with all the shots that he blocks. We're underway here in the second period with the Stars leading, and on the power play, this is Shodin rushing it up the ice. Long shot, and it's off the target. And the Detroit Red Wings still short-handed for another 25 seconds. And the puck is cleared but not out as Kortnoff keeps it in. Faked a shot, dances around Burr, runs into Yzerman, keeps coming, put it in front, it deflects right in the crease, they score! The Stars, I wonder if it was tipped, we're not sure. Kortnoff was the one who carried it in deep. It'll be a power play goal. There were still 13 seconds left in the penalty time on Konstantinov. Dahlin, playing without the helmet, may have been the one that touched it. Here comes Kortnoff, runs into Yzerman, got forced wide, puts it in front, and Dahlin is there, and Dahlin puts the final jab to it.
Sure, he saw that puck sitting loose between the legs of Chevalier. That was a nice play by Kortnoff. He didn't take the shot. He elected to go down low. Even as the Wings crowded the net, Dahlin is there to poke it in, his 34th of the year. Boy, is that a huge goal for Minnesota right now.
Yeah, it sure is. Kortnoff getting a great assist on it. The only assist goes to Kortnoff.
The second period of North Stars hockey is brought to you by Coors Extra Gold. Slow brewed for that rich, real Bay Area flavor and color. The way beer was meant to be. Coors Extra Gold, no doubt about it. Beer is back.
Play underway with the North Stars now in front by 2-0. The puck shot in. Casey out behind to ring it on the right side. Madonna lost it. Wings keep it in. Centering pass knocked off a stick and kept in by Lidstrom in the slot. Tied up by Duchesne. Cleared by Matvichuk. Madonna loses it. Stolen by Kozlov. Duchesne takes him out. Broughton over skates. Picks it up. Plays it into the zone, and Duchesne didn't find it, and Yzerman, it went up a leg of his breezer.
He just laid a puck.
My goodness, what is this thing? All right, the puck still in the Detroit zone, and Broughton knocks down one of the Red Wings. It was Eisbart as they come together. This is Dahlin again. Look at him protect that puck. He's a master at it. Tried to center and it hit the side of the net, and the Wings come out with a feed to Eisbart. Passes off to the man coming up on his left. In he comes with Kozlov firing a shot that went wide. The puck is cleared out to center off Bobby Smith, and Lidstrom has it again for Detroit. Off the board, right to Casey. Taken by Matvichuk. The rookie to Dahlin. And his pass is intercepted, and Detroit starting right back in with the tough Yzerman. Forced back behind by Barry. Out to the point, and a drive from there goes wide. That shot by Mark Howe, and the North Stars clear. Howe back. To Yzerman. Up to Dino. Oh, trying to get turned around, and Racine fell. And then Kortnoff lost the puck. It's still in the Detroit zone, and finally fed rink wide to Ciccarelli. Now he starts Yzerman back in. Deflected back of the net. They ran into Casey at the side of the net. Now McPhee getting Kortnoff underway. Drop pass. Gagne brings it in. McPhee was offside. And we'll have the face-off back in the neutral zone. Well, one of Detroit Red Wings' biggest contributions to the sports world happened way back in 1933, 60 years ago, when they became the first major league team in any sport to offer their fans a season ticket plan. The Red Wing fans had the option of paying for their seats in 5 monthly installments.
That was the first time it was done, eh?
Yep, right here in Detroit.
And they've just started down in St. Louis, folks. We're going to keep you very posted on that one. Every few minutes or so, we'll have an update. The thing is, no matter how well the North Stars do in this game tonight, they could win at 10-0, but it still does not assure them a thing until that final score comes out of St. Louis. If the Stars win, they have a shot. Anything less, they're done.
Blues and Stars each have 36 wins. St. Louis has 11 ties to Minnesota's 10, so St. Louis leads by a point. In order for the Stars to make it, they have to win tonight. If the Blues win, it's all over. But if the Blues lose or tie, the Stars are in. They'll have one more win. Here come the North Stars. Centering pass is blocked as Chodin tried to put it through the slot. The Wings out 2-on-1 against Ludwig. Probert over to Byrne. His shot is off the mark. The Wings are wild on their shooting here tonight. Now a pass is picked off. That shot steered away into the right corner, fired by Sheldon Kennedy. Courtnall leaves a drop as he's taken out by Kennedy. And this is Konstantinov with the puck. He fires it back in. Chodin chopping it off the glass on the right, but not out. Courtnall was hoping it would get to him for a break on 2-on-1. And McPhee breaks it up as he took it off Probert, but now it comes loose, and out comes Casey to clear it past Probert. Bird trying to keep it in, but Courtnall gets it. He's checked, and the Stars having trouble getting the puck out of their zone. Chodin lost it. Probert shot blocked by Ludwig. Probert trying to center, but it's tipped away by McPhee. Courtnall against Konstantinov. And Konstantinov covered him thoroughly, every inch of the way. Moved right with him. Long pass will go all the way down, but they wave the icing. And Hatcher starts it back. Prop now, feeding it ahead. Craig tried to get it back to Prop, but the Wings break it up, and back they come. Ogrodnik slips it to Coffey, and his shot is blocked by Hatcher, deflected back, and that is fed into the slot. Oh, and a shot by Drake went wide. How many times are the Red Wings going to miss the net? This is not the shooting accuracy we're used to with Detroit. Stars back with a shot that Cheveldae handled on Craig. And the Wings take over with a long feed up the right wing. This for Detroit is Tim Hiller, acquired from L.A. Long shot, Casey blocks, and with Hiller racing after the puck, elects to cover up. Ludwig and Hiller doing a little jostling. Others follow in. The sticks go up. Play is stopped. We'll have a face-off to Casey's left. The Stars lead 2-0, and this is North Stars hockey.
Best fried clams in the city. I need another beer pour. Couldn't believe it. Now the bartenders can't pour it fast enough. It seems to just take off. It's amazing. Who'd have thought? You know what? I think Coors Extra Gold is the best premium beer in the country, without a doubt.
You don't have to run a bar to know a good beer. Coors Extra Gold. Get back to real beer.
I think it's about the best thing we ever did.
At Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, we make automotive repairs easy. Now you have a choice. You can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. And all of our repairs and installation services are backed with guarantees assuring that you'll never have to worry about a repair or a price at Crown Auto Service Centers. And we put all of our promises in writing. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers. We make automotive repair easy.
Stars doing what they have to do here in this game. McPhee in the first period scoring. Dahlin in the second. They're up by a pair and looking good.
19,749 packed into Joe Louis Arena for the Wings' last game of the regular season.
Well, that's the other thing, too. A 2-0 Stars lead has taken the crowd out of this game.
Ludwig slipping it across to the rookie Matt Pachek. Now to Smith. On the right side, Klatt firing it in, rink wide. Dahlin playing it around behind, and back towards Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov. Long pass up to Eisbart. His pass comes back to the North Star blue line off Bobby Smith's stick. Matt Pachek clearing to Dahlin. Dahlin to Modano. He fired, and it goes off the goaltender. Cheveldae to the boards behind. Modano getting a great chance there, looking for goal number 34. He's got 33 of them. Top goal scorer on the team, Courtnall, with 36. Modano leads in assists with 60 and in total points with 93.
The speed of that shot surprised Cheveldae, too.
Kozlov, Casey the save. Centering pass off Eisbart, picks it up behind, then lost it, but the Wings keep it in. Kozlov faked it, now fires it. Blocked, rebounds, knocked down by Konstantinov. Checked by Duchesne. And Duchesne wins. A bank off of Modano out to center. Broughton was there, but it didn't get to him. Kozlov there to break it up. Wings right back in. Fedorov firing. Casey Casey blocks it and holds it. John Casey digging it out of the pad. And now we've got a little jostling going on. Gallant, Brott going over to have words for him. Hatcher right in the middle of it.
Gallant came in with a real late hit on Mike Craig. Craig was tied up with a Red Wing player, but nothing was going anywhere. And Gallant just came roaring in and let Craig know that he didn't like what was happening. But here's John Casey, who's been on the spot. Some nice digging and dealing there by Fedorov as he cuts to the middle, lets the shot go. Casey holds on, and then the fracas beginning at the end of that play. And here's a little bit earlier as Kozlov wound up. His shot blocked by John Casey as well. So Detroit, who have not mounted much of an attack so far in this game, getting a couple of close-in tries here within seconds of one another.
Well, Gallant and two other players are going to the penalty box, one from each team. Gallant has 186 penalty minutes coming into this game. Not a candidate for the Lady Byng Trophy. Wayne Gretzky won the Lady Byng last season, despite taking 34 minutes in penalties. That trophy, of course, goes to the player who best combines a high standard of playing ability with gentlemanly conduct. Believe it or not, 43 years ago, a three-time first-team National Hockey League All-Star defenseman by the name of Bill Quackenbush, who is in the Hockey Hall of Fame, won the Lady Byng Trophy. That was in the 1948-49 season, in which Quackenbush played in all 60 of the Detroit Red Wings games without incurring a single penalty. His full name, incidentally, was Hubert George Quackenbush. I don't know where the bill came from.
No, the last name like Quackenbush.
No penalty for a defenseman. Can you believe that?
That's amazing. Games. Because you pick up so many just by accident.
Yeah,
you know?
you do. Sure. And he was a good defenseman. I remember him.
I don't.
Don't you? Well, you're a little younger than me, I think. Well, we've got the Red Wings taking the extra penalty on Chason. So the North Stars are on the power play for the third time. Now the puck is fired back into the Minnesota zone. Joseph and Jablonski, as expected, are the goaltenders in the St. Louis-Tampa game. North Stars playing the puck into the Detroit zone. Now the shot off the glass. Hatcher at the left point, keeping it in deep, fired it around behind. It comes right out to Chodin at the right point. To Hatcher. Ciccone and Chason getting slashing penalties, and Gallant roughing. A shot by Chodin right on, and the save by Shovelday, and the rebound drilled down the ice by Konstantinov. Here's Hatcher starting it back to Courtnall. Into the zone, knocked off his stick. Hatcher recovers at center, brings it in offside. 12:37 remaining in the second period. 55 seconds left in the extra penalty on Chason. North Stars on the power play where they are 0 for 2.
This is the last effort they had when they came into the zone to set up. A good low bullet there by Chodin is right in the middle of the net. But the goaltender Shovelday was there as well. He's got some problems out in front of him with Prop. Prop not a big guy, but Bob Gainey likes to use him in the penalty or power play situation by planting him out in front. A little agitator, Brian Prop. It's certainly good to see him back in the Stars lineup.
This is Matvichuk. Ran into Lidstrom, leaves it for Craig. Over in the left circle, Gagne to Chodin. Broken stick there. Chodin, rink wide. Matvichuk loves it. And now has it on the stick. Gives it to Craig, to Chodin, to Gagne. And his pass to Chodin deflected on out to center. And a good defensive move by Eisbart. Tried to get it away from Chodin, but he gives it to Gagne. Now to Matvichuk. Up the wing, moving in is Craig. He's skated off by Lidstrom. Dahlin into the slot. Here is Chodin firing. That goes off Eisbart's stick. Gagne to Craig. Broken up by Coffey, but Craig gets it back. And then gives it away. Chason is on. The Wings attack. They're back at full strength. This is Fedorov dropping it back. And a shot is turned away. Eisbart firing in case he had it covered all the way. Coffey and Matvichuk. Matvichuk slashing at Coffey as they crisscross. Dolan falls at center, and the Wings take over with Lidstrom. Lidstrom passing off. This is Drake putting it in front, and it got by Howe and went wide to Casey's right. Godine trying to clear and does, and back for it comes Racine. Yves Racine pursued on the play. Back of the net, Prop chasing. Now it goes on out to center ice, and the Wings come in with John Ogrodnik. Casey kicking that one away on the short side. Oh, now in the corner, Dallas. Drake. They scored! The puck came loose in the circle to the right, and Drake scored. After throwing the big check in the corner, the puck came back to him in the circle, and he quickly one-timed it in, and Detroit has cut the margin to 1. The North Stars still leading it by 2-1 on the goal by Dallas Drake. That is his 18th.
And Dallas Drake, for those of you new to watching hockey, is a guy who's going to pick up a lot of goals in the upcoming years for the Red Wings. He's got a great shot. Here he throws a tremendous check. That turns the play over. It's placed back out in front by Howe. And Drake, left all alone at the face-off dot, fires it. But look where the North Stars are. 5 players all down real low. But they left that very vulnerable spot open right at the right of John Casey, and Drake just let it go.
The recipient of the big check was a former competitor who played against Drake many times in the WCHA, and that's Trent Platt. Big goal by Drake after a big hit by Drake. In they come again. Here's Drake firing again off Casey to his left. The puck comes loose. McPhee tried to tap it away, but it hit Howe. And now the North Stars have it and start back on the attack. Into the Detroit zone. The long shot by Courtnall is turned aside. And it's cleared up the left side as the Wings come right back on the attack, firing it in, and it goes past Casey to the left. Ludwig touches up. We've got icing with 10:01 gone in the second period. It's 2-1 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey.
He would not believe it. We were doing this taste challenge, Coors Extra Gold versus Bud, and this Bud drinker, Charlie, took the challenge.
Nothing beats my Bud.
He did it once, picked Coors Extra Gold. Twice, he picked it again. Then, he did it a third time. He was so shocked.
I'll pay you $100 if we get caught drinking another Bud.
You don't have to pay $100. Just pick up a 6-pack of Extra Gold and get back to real beer.
Darlene, the bartender, wrote up the contract. That night, someone bought him a Bud. He just pushed it away.
You got to see it to believe it. Who told you you can't have it all? You'll have a ball. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
Dallas Drake, number 28, a former Northern Michigan Wildcat, getting a nice goal. He should have almost got an assist on his own goal there because of the play that he made.
North Stars have 2 goals on 16 shots. And Detroit 1 on 13 shots. As you can see, Tampa Bay and St. Louis are tied and scoreless. The Shane shot deflected away to the left, and now it comes up to center. This is Ludwig putting it back in the Detroit zone. Chase on. Came back, but it's Konstantinov who drives it around behind. Ludwig tried to keep it in, but Kennedy clears. Now Broughton dropping it back in his zone. It's cleared out by Matvichuk. It's going to go all the way down the ice. The race is on, and Konstantinov touched it first as he fell behind the net to get the icing call, and that'll force a face-off back in the Minnesota zone to the left of John Casey, who is playing his 6th straight game tonight. His longest string of consecutive starts this season was 8 between December 3rd and December 22nd. His record against Detroit this season, 1-3-1 in 284 minutes and 21 seconds. Against the Wings, Casey has given up 19 goals and 143 shots for a series goals against average of .401 and a save percentage of .867. The 19 goals Detroit has scored against Casey include 10 at even strength, 6 on power plays, 3 shorthanded, and of course tonight's goal here so far was uneven strength goal. Casey has shut out the Wings in 3 of 14 penalties coming into tonight's game, and he now has shut them out in 4 of 15 periods.
The Stars have had some problems against Detroit, too, and Ralph had pointed out at the top of the show, but Minnesota got a win and a tie in their first 2 games against Detroit, but since then, lost 4 straight. They're outscored 22-5.
That shot from the faceoff by Kennedy goes wide. Now Probert checked in the corner, got away from Smith, passes off, centering pass off the traffic, and Casey recovered to snuff it at the right side of the goal crease. That could have been trouble.
Well, those are the kind of shots that just give goalies nightmares. You're expecting a hard shot. You go down to cover the angle for it, but all of a sudden it changes direction and speed drastically and dramatically. And those are the ones that quite often you see just barely trickle in. And you can't fault the goalie. It's just a fluke type of play. But Casey had the pad down long enough for the puck to come underneath, and he traps it for the faceoff. Smart play.
Casey making his 25th start in 42 North Star road games this year. He's given up the first goal of the game in 13 of his starts. Team has scored first in 11. Now the Wings keeping it in. Casey back of the net, rings it left. In at the point by Lidstrom, trying to keep it in again, but Duchesne clears it. Broughton has it. Cicerelli got back. He had a man with him, Craig, on a 2-on-1. Here's a shot by Broughton that's blocked at the left of the net, and in the corner Duchesne feeds it around behind. Broughton plays it to the near boards. In comes Barry off the point, runs into a check and goes down. That stops play for a face-off to the right of Tim Cheveldae. 2-1 Minnesota. This is North Stars hockey.
A young prize fighter teams up with the mob.
With Mr. Nitty's help, I'm going to become a champ.
But he risks losing everything to achieve success.
When can we get out of here?
What'll I tell Tony?
Now, crime and corruption are heating up on both sides of the ring.
You were with Frank Nitty last night. Could you be in my corner tomorrow night?
Come on, Tommy!
This guy's called for a knockout.
On an all-new episode of The Untouchables.
Saturday night at 8 on Minnesota 9.
Best fried clams in the city and 36 taps. No one sells more draft beer in New York than I do. So when they came to me with Coors Extra Gold, I said, what do I need another beer for? Couldn't believe it. Now the bartenders can't pour it fast enough. It seems to just take off. It's amazing. Who'd have thought? You know what? I think Coors Extra Gold is the best premium beer in the country, without a doubt.
You don't have to run a bar to know a good beer. Coors Extra Gold. Get back to real beer.
I think it's about the best thing we ever did.
Even though Minnesota's road success hasn't been great in the last 7 games, winning just 1. Overall, they've won 18 on the year, which is a team record. And if they can win tonight, the 41 points will be a club record as well.
Gallant shot kicked out by Casey, cleared to the left corner by Ludwig. Oh, stolen away. Eiserman. Oh, Casey dived to knock it off his stick. What a great stop by John Casey, robbing Eiserman. We've got a penalty on the play. Eiserman always dangerous. He's got 3 of the Red Wings' 4 hat tricks this season against St. Louis, Calgary, and Chicago. Jimmy Carson had the only other 3-goal game for Detroit. He did that against Pittsburgh, but he's no longer here. He's out in L.A. Well, Craig Ludwig will take the penalty, but what a stop Casey made.
Oh. It was going to be a slash, I believe was a call from referee Bill McCreary, but Mike Craig tossing the puck up the middle right here. Very dangerous, right onto the stick of Eiserman. There's the whack right there. Casey coming out to stab it away. That was a real smart play by John Casey. That was an occasion where he did have to gamble, and it paid off. He timed it perfectly. Ludwig off. Second power play of the night now for the Red Wings.
Eiserman will stay on. He's 4th overall in NHL scoring this year with 136 points. Mario Lemieux leads with 157. Then Pat LaFontaine of Buffalo with 145. Adam Oates of Boston with 141. And then comes Eiserman. Puck is cleared down the ice by the Stars. And the Red Wings with the league's #1 power play. 24.7% regroup. And here comes Eiserman. Dumping it in. Massey cutting it off. Cleared around on the left. Drake went down. And a diving clear by Barry as he dove to poke the loose puck out to center. Now the Wings try it again. And it's broken up there by Hatcher. Worked the puck loose. Broughton is hooked as he went after it. Backhand shot, save, rebound to Shane, save again by Chevrolet. Why no penalty on the hook, Mr. Mack?
You know, the penalty against Yzerman from Ludwig was not a real good call. There was hardly any slash in there. That hook on Broughton was a heck of a lot worse. And it took away a scoring chance.
I guess it wasn't the North Stars' turn again, Walt.
Unbelievable, eh?
Drake crashing into Barry. Cleared ahead by Ciccone. McPhee banking 2-on-1 against Coffey. Puck got away from Courtnall, and Coffey clears to center. This is Chason. And Chason goes rolling along. DeCoffey broken up in the slot. Barry clears off of Chason. And out comes Chevrolet. Courtnall and Fedorov coming back. The pass behind Fedorov shakes off Courtnall. Here he comes. Runs into Matvichuk. The puck goes loose. Duchesne clears. North Star penalty killer's doing a good job. Only 10 seconds left in the penalty on Ludwig. Lidstrom with the puck. Colbert. Fedorov. Into the slot, but it's off the mark for Lidstrom. Ludwig out of the penalty box, couldn't get it. Chevrolet out to clear to the corner. Ludwig trying to put it in front. The net is open, but the Wings get it, and here comes Probert. Knocked off his stick. Back to make the play, Matvichuk, the rookie. Now Probert taking down Hatcher on the far side, then falling over him. Back come the North Stars with Craig. Konstantinov trying to tie him up. Craig stumbling, stays on his feet. Takes another hit on the play. The second hit by Kozlov. The Wings clear off Fedorov. And back for Minnesota comes Chodin. And we'll have an icing call with 5:30 remaining in the second period. A fine, fine hockey game. And here in Joe Louis Arena tonight.
A great way for the North Stars to end their final regular season performance. And here's a hit as Probert stands up and drops Hatcher. Both of those guys are huge size-wise. And then Broughton to Duchesne working here on that 2-on-1. Duchesne with the rebound, but Chevrolet so quick to get back across from his left to his right.
Minnesota 18 shots, 2 goals. Detroit 15 shots, 1 goal. The face-off is Chevrolet's right. 19,000 here. Don't make as much noise as 15,000 at Met Center in the last 2 home games. Now the Wings come out with a feed that is deflected. Dahlin lost it. And now Chodin picks it up. Crowded off by Probert, fired it, and it goes out of play. We'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. To our left, hanging 3 in a row, side by side. The Detroit Red Wings are the only NHL team that has retired all 3 jersey numbers worn by the members of one of their forward lines, and they're all hanging up there. And that, of course, was the famed production line of number 9, Gordie Howe, number 7, Ted Lindsay, and number 10, Alex Delvecchio. They're side by side as they were on the ice, hanging from the rafters at Joe Louis Arena. Delvecchio replaced Sid Abel, who was the original center in the production line, but never had his number retired. Probably because he wore 7 different numbers in 13 seasons with Detroit. The only number Abel wore for any length of time was number 12 in later years. But earlier in his career, Abel wore numbers 4, 7, 9, 11, 19, and 20. Now we've got an icing call on Detroit. They're going to go back for a face-off in the Red Wing zone. And this is North Stars hockey.
You've got to see it to believe it. Who told you you can't have it all? You'll have a ball. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America. There's a place for fun in
sir.
Yeah, I'll have a Coca-Cola.
You sure you want a Coke?
Yeah, I want a Coke.
Okay, pal.
Why did you order a Coke? It tastes good. I didn't care if it was a Coke. You just want to I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola. I'll just have a cola.
Need a drink, sir?
I'll just have a...
You'll just have a...
I'll just have a Coke.
Ooh.
You're that guy's a Coca-Cola.
See ya, pal.
Oh.
There they are, the production line, side by side. Lindsay, Del Vecchio, and Howe. Del Vecchio the center, Lindsay the left winger, and Howe the right winger.
Hey, a lot of great players have worn this jersey for the Stars. Let's reminisce a little bit. As you look back over the years, who's been one of your favorite North Stars to watch?
Well, there were a lot of them. In the early years, I really loved watching Cesar Maniago perform. He was such a great gentleman and a fine goaltender. Bill Goldberg, of course, was the big sniper. Here's a change of direction off Racine, and the save made by Casey. Back of the net with it is Bob Probert, being crowded by Matt Tkachuk, the rookie, staying right with him. Now taking over Burr. It comes loose, and Dolan gives it a wrap off the wall and sends it to center to Howe. Howe to Probert, off his stick. It's poke checked away and on out to center by Matt Tkachuk. Kennedy after it. Matt Tkachuk there to cover on him. The pass deflects. Cleared out by Dolan. Oh, they had a man breaking up the ice court. No, they couldn't get it to him. Kennedy back in. Gives it to Chiasson. A drive, and on his knees, Casey stabs it and holds it.
So do you have one single favorite?
One single favorite over all the years? Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I would not do that, no. No. Shanahan has opened the scoring for St. Louis with his 50th goal. Blues 1, Tampa Bay nothing.
And regardless again, folks, of what happens here, we are all going to have to sit back and try to watch the finale of that St. Louis-Tampa game. It started an hour later than this one. So whether or not the Stars win tonight, it still will not be decided.
The saddest days in North Star history that I remember were, of course, the saddest of all was the Bill Masterton episode, and then the premature retirement of Craig Hartsburg, a wonderful person and a great hockey player. And, you know, you wonder where this team might have been if he'd been able to complete a normal career instead of having to retire because of injuries.
Especially in the latter part of the 80s there when things got rough for the Stars and a couple of last place finishes without that smooth puck carrying expertise that Hartsburg always had.
My all-time favorites, though, Wally, were the Minnesota fans. You know, they've had a great year and 42 home games this season, including a neutral site game at Saskatoon. The Stars have drawn 580,625. The seating capacity of Met Center, 15,184, which means the North Stars have drawn an average of 13,824 to each of their 42 home games and have played at home before 91% of Met Center's capacity. All you fans, stand up, take a bow, and thank you. Thank you for making these 26 years so wonderful. Save Casey on Kennedy in the slot again. That was Ogrodnik, and Casey grabs and holds the second try by John Ogrodnik.
Ogrodnik's been a bit of an interesting story here, too. He's only playing in his 19th game of the year. Basically, he was a walk-on to this team in training camp after having been given his release by the New York Rangers. And here he does the work getting the first shot, and then as he's back at the goal line, passes it out in front. Watch it from this angle here as Ogrodnik takes control. Casey's movement puts him back out in front, and he sweeps that big left mid out there to trap it for a face-off. John Ogrodnik, he's been in this team for a long, long time.
See Irish? Ogrodnik? O'Reilly and O'Shea and O'Houlihan. Ogrodnik's not Irish.
He doesn't have the little apostrophe in there.
No, that's right. 3:45 remaining in the second period. We got a penalty against the North Stars' Darian Hatcher. And that evens the penalties. Each team 4 for 8 minutes. The Wings 0 for 2 on the power play, go for third.
It's not the situation they want to get into here. They don't want to get into penalty trouble, leaving themselves short. It's the second time in a row in this period.
And tucking along the left wing boards, and Duchesne beats Chiasson to it to clear, forcing Cheveldae to handle it. Coffey will take over. Now this is Gallant. Turned around on the left side by Barry and on down the ice. Chason skates it down. Duchesne peels off in front. Chason passing off. Yzerman dumping it in off the board. It's poked in deep. Ludwig back of the net, runs into Yzerman. Now Cicerelli picking it up. Centered out in front, a high shot knocked down. Chason firing that from about 35 feet out. Casey gloved it down and then quickly drops on it to cover up. John Casey playing superbly for the North Stars.
Well, we mentioned that at the top of the show, too, that Casey had to have a strong game, and we're certainly getting that out of him. Detroit managed only 6 shots in the first period. They've had 13 here in the second. Cicerelli doing the work to dig it loose, firing it to Chason out in front, who was breaking down through the slot. That was a close-in drive. And everybody working down low for Detroit on this power play. And they like to work it down low. A lot of teams like to get things set up high. Detroit likes to go down towards the goal line, working the perimeter, and then finding that loose man sneaking into the slot.
Broughton getting the draw and then regaining control and clearing. Good face-off for Neil Broughton. Powell back. 48 seconds in Hatcher's penalty. Leads to his left as the Wings come in, a pass, and they score! Eisbard gunning a high shot, top right corner, and the Wings have tied it on the power play at 17:37. It's 2-all. Each team now with an even strength goal and a power play goal.
That was a little bit surprising, that one. As Doug Eisbard, there's the octopus on the ice. That must be playoff time, eh?
Yes, sir. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Wouldn't you like to wake up and find one of those on your pillow in the morning? Wow.
Deep fried, and we can maybe get some calamari out of it.
Yeah.
There's a Saturday pass into the slot, and it actually changed course.
There it goes on the end of a hockey stick. It's not a very pleasant. Wow, you know the story behind that. Back in the year when Detroit had won the first playoff series in 4 straight, we're trying to win the second one in 4 straight back in the 40s. A gentleman here by the name of Camano, I believe it was, owned a fish shop, and he figured the 8 arms of the octopus were symbolic of Detroit trying to sweep the playoff series, 2 series in 8 straight games, which they eventually did. And along about game 8, final game, he threw an octopus on the ice, and it's been traditional here ever since. Look out! And that is Mr. Fedorov going to the puck and getting it as Hatcher clears but not out. It's centered out in front for Eisbard by Racine, but it got by him. Now on the far side, Kozlov loses the puck, and Courtnall has it. Courtnall passing off, then gets a return from Gagne. It goes to McPhee, back to Courtnall. Lost it. Trying to get around on the outside of Racine along the boards. This is Kozlov feeding it off for Howe, moving in. Against Ludwig, takes a hit from Hatcher. McPhee getting it on his off wing. Over to Courtnall on his off wing. In front, Gagne in for the shot. Oh, big save, Cheveldae. Loose puck. Another shot by Courtnall right across the front of the net. Oh, so close, so close, so close. But it only counts in horseshoes, and this is Fedorov losing it to Smith. He loses it, and it's dumped in deep by Eisbard to set up the change. Shodin on the attack, got by Burr, feeds it to Smith. Broken up by Probert. Probert gives it away to Ludwig. Ludwig to Dahlin. Dahlin to Smith. Into the Detroit zone. Runs into a check and got stood up by Konstantinov as it's played around behind. On the far side, Burr slips it across on the right side. Kennedy having control problems. Now fires it in. Casey clearing it to his right off the boards, but right to Chason. Skate save. Big stop. Casey, after he gave it away, he covered up on his own miscue. Played back in the Detroit zone. This is Chason. Chase behind the net. Keeps on coming. Chason attacking it center now down the right side. Runs into Barry, dumps it toward the net, and Casey banks. Not out. Not out. And the Wings keep it in. Casey will try it again. Got it to Duchesne this time. His pass off Broughton into the Detroit zone, and Coffey clears. Hatcher picking it up at his blue line. Across to Barry now. Barry got to center, lobs it in. We're into the final few seconds. 7 of them left. Konstantinov behind the net, puts it in the corner. Burr picking it up, and that's going to do it for the second period. It's all tied at 2. It'll be decided in the third or possibly in overtime. It's 2-all after 2 at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. And after 2, the Wings have 21 shots. The Stars have 19. So we'll be back with more coming right up from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, with the teams tied, and this is North Stars hockey.
.185 horsepower V6. The feeling it gives you on the open road. The 1993 Toyota Camry.
Taking the long way again?
I'll be home soon. Just unwinding. Few cars actually move you. This Camry just may be one.
For all those people reaching for more, just a reminder, it's what's inside that counts. Diet Coke. Taste it all.
North Stars Hockey, feeding towards you all season long on Midwest Sports Channel.
It's all you can eat.
You must be this many years old. There is no nude bingo.
The second period of North Stars hockey has been brought to you by Coors Extra Gold. Slow brewed for that rich, real beer flavor and color. The way beer was meant to be. Coors Extra Gold. No doubt about it, beer is back. Back at the arena, Joe Louis Arena in the Motor City, the Minnesota North Stars 2, the Detroit Red Wings 2, after 2 periods of play, setting the table for a very big third period indeed. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm working on the radio side. My partner, Al Shaver, is working with his son, Wally, in what he hopes will not be his final game as Minnesota North Stars play-by-play voice. It would be impossible for us to encompass a 26-year career in a couple of short minutes, but here are some highlights, a tribute to my friend, Al Shaver.
He's got his first goal! Glad has got his first NHL goal!
To me, it's just got one exciting thing after another. It really turns me on. Madonna gives it to Barry, a long rink-wide pass. Courtnall left circle fired. It goes back in the net. And Madonna has it again. Drops it off, gets it back, and scores! Madonna comes out, returns it to Courtnall. These two can fly. They are pretty to one. Over to Madonna. He scores! Oh, my! Those two crisscrossing at center. They should have traffic lights out there. Now over in the left, Madonna streaking. He's going to go right in. He scores! Mike Madonna for the night he's had. A goal and 3 assists. Oh, my goodness. What a play. Madonna. You know, most of the years I've been doing it, I've been doing the radio end of it, and any excitement that you're trying to relay to the people, you have to do it vocally. So if I've been able to do that and put it across that way, I think that's the thing that
I would like to be remembered for.
Yes, I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I will find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. Yes, I will dig you in the early bright, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon. I'll be looking, but I'll be seeing you.
From all of us in Minnesota, thank you, Al Shaver. It's been a terrific time watching and listening to you, and of course, working with my partner, the big guy. He's trying to squeeze in here. Okay, Al.
Thank you.
How's it going? You guys having fun tonight?
Very nice. I've changed a lot over the years, haven't I?
Well, we didn't know they had cameras back then.
Well, my daughters keep kidding me that I keep getting bigger and my cars keep getting smaller. Thank you, Ralph.
All right, we're going to come back, and Al Shaver will call a big third period. We got more stuff happening before that. The Stars and the Detroit Red Wings tied at 2. More from Motown in a minute.
Champion Auto Stores. Right products, right prices, and right answers. You get all 3 at Champion Auto Stores. And now you get a choice, too. You can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. Crown Auto Service Centers are now part of the Right Answers team of Champion Auto Stores. At Crown Auto Service Centers, you get everything you've come to expect from Champion Auto, plus we'll do it for you. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers. We make automotive repair easy.
One Friday night after work, one of our Coors drivers ran into these Bud sales guys. And after getting his chops busted for a little while over this claim that Bud drinkers prefer an extra gold, he said, guys, here's the time and the place. You tell me. The first salesman picked extra gold. The second one, I can't stop. The third one, right for the extra gold. And, of course, their supervisor wanted nothing to do with this anyway.
You don't have to be a Bud driver to know what's better. Coors Extra Gold. Get back to real beer.
We thought really that was the proof of the pudding.
What's that?
It's a consumer survey. They want to know if you're happy with your car.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I know. And as of last night, so does everybody at the Martins dinner party.
In its first year, the all-new Toyota Camry moved thousands to appreciate that a car could be everything you want and even more than you imagined.
You gave 2 complete strangers a 20-minute test drive.
15. I was 15.
The 1993 Toyota Camry. Few cars actually move you. This is one.
The Highway Patrol. High-speed chases. Deadly pursuits. They're putting their lives on the line.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Now, right along with the action on an explosive new series.
Open that door right now! Now!
See the action. Feel the heat. And get behind the wheel of TV's hottest new show 5 times a week.
Get your hands up! Get them up!
Real stories of the Highway Patrol.
Premieres Monday night at 10:35 on Minnesota 9.
A White Knight limousine. It's the way to do the town.
Have a great time. Let us do the driving.
Affordable luxury anytime. Do the town in a White Knight limousine. 944-LIMO.
Fans, this year Hardee's and the North Stars have teamed up to feature youth hockey teams from around the Midwest through the Hardee's Community Cup program at Met Center. Here's tonight's Hardee's Community Cup highlight, featuring a North St. Paul youth hockey team in action at the March 9th North Stars San Jose Sharks game at Met Center. The North Stars and Hardee's, are you ready for some real food?
Look what's coming up for you and your family in April at Mall of America. April 2nd through May 10th, Rodland Homes presents America at Home, including celebrity guest appearances. April 18th, the Milton Band in the Rotunda at the mall. April 25th through May 1st, it's the big Estee Lauder event. Don't miss it in Macy's Court. Great music April 29th, the Cedar Falls Concert in the Mall Rotunda. And remember, there's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
Now Gagne flattened on a check at center by Yuskovic.
Hi, I'm Dave Supernaut, certified athletic trainer with the Minnesota North Stars. As an athletic trainer, I understand the importance of receiving proper care and directions when treating an injury. Athletes and parents understand that nagging injuries can last a lifetime.
We're involved in all levels of athletics, from scholastic to professional.
And we're here for the prevention, care, and reconditioning of athletic injuries.
For more information, call the Minnesota Athletic Trainers Association.
Every 60 seconds, the lights form a teepee. Ooh, that was beautiful.
It is a nice place to meet eligible gentlemen.
We're here in San Francisco to ask the experts why everyone loves the Hardee's Frisco Burger so much.
Sourdough bread.
Well, what could be more irresistible than Hardee's thick quarter-pound burger?
Sourdough bread.
How about the crispy bacon, sliced tomato, and melted Swiss?
A unique taste. A perfect match for grilled sourdough.
Say, aren't you guys just a little biased?
Nope.
Hardee's Frisco Burger. What sourdough's been waiting for? And in the morning, enjoy a Hardee's Frisco breakfast sandwich.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's.
If you're tired of walking all the way to the curb to get your morning paper, imagine how your neighbors must feel. Instead, get the Pioneer Press delivered to your doorstep by calling 291-1888.
If the first thing you do when you get home is take off your shoes, you're wearing the wrong shoes. Introducing Dockers shoes. They look like Dockers. They fit like Dockers. They feel like Dockers. They're Dockers shoes. The easiest pair of shoes you'll ever buy. Ask for them in your favorite style and color at Nordstrom.
Tonight's NHL Out-of-Town scoreboard is brought to you by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. 3-0 St. Louis, now up over Tampa Bay. It looks like Jablonski cannot come back to haunt his former team. The Blues looking to make the playoffs by picking up a win at home. And Toronto has taken a lead over Chicago. Toronto will play Detroit for the first-round playoffs. Philadelphia and Buffalo are knotted up at 3 apiece in their third period. Winnipeg leading Edmonton 1-0 in the second, and 2 games yet to start off in the western part of the country. Calgary and LA both on home ice, and good period in the opener by the Stars. They jumped up into a 2-0 situation, but Detroit coming back with a couple of more goals of their own here in the second period, and we're all knotted up at 2 apiece. And the North Stars have had a problem this year with third periods, Wally. They seem to start off good, and then they kind of fade, and you can see that trend sitting in here tonight. Yeah. They've had very strong second periods. They didn't have such a good one here tonight, but the third period has been their weak period, so they still got to face that, and they're going to open shorthanded because at the 20-minute mark in the second period, Mike Modano drew a high sticking penalty. It was a bad penalty to take in a game like this at that particular time of the game. So the Stars will be one man short for 2 minutes to start off the third period. Meanwhile, those Blues are doing what Bob Berry, their coach, said earlier today that they had to do. They are winning and apparently are doing it very impressively down in St. Louis.
In fact, he said they had to win or they really don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and they're on the way. But the North Stars have the situation in their own hands right now. They're up 1-0, and Alfie Dolan doing the work as the Stars opened the period on the power play. It was centered out in front. It looked like the goaltender Cheveldae had made the save, but a poke at the puck by Dolan put the Stars up by 2.
That two-goal lead lasted until 9:14. Big hit, Drake there, taking down Klatt in the corner. Then the puck is fed right to Drake. Good shot from the right circle, beats Casey, and the Red Wings are on the board. And then at 17:37, this is what happened. Wings come in. Eisbar gunning the shot there on a good high shot. Picked the corner nicely on feeds from both Lidstrom and Howe. So there you have what happened in the second period. And after 2 periods, the North Stars 19 shots, the Wings 21. It's still anybody's hockey game. It's a 2-all tie. North Stars right in it. And we go to the third period. Minnesota's leading shooter in the second period, well, there wasn't one. They had a total of 9 shots by 9 different players. The Wings in the second period had 15 shots, and they were led by the defenseman Steve Chason, who had 3 of them. Eisbart had 2 and scored on 1 of them, of course. Ogrodnik had a couple, and Drake had a couple. So 1 period left, barring overtime. The North Stars and the Wings all even in the hockey game.
The third period of North Stars hockey is brought to you by Hardee's. Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's, and we're ready now for some real hockey, because the Stars have to win this game, folks, and with what's going on down in St. Louis, well, you can't control those things, but your destiny is in your own hands, and the Stars absolutely, positively must win this hockey game. And they're in a tie contest. They played well throughout this game, but now they're going to have to begin the third period here shorthanded with Mike McDonald sitting in the penalty box. Detroit has already gone 1 for 3 on the power play in this game. And John Casey, we talked at the top of the show, Al, of how well he had to play in tonight's game. I think he's done a superb job, and he's really going to get tested here early on. Detroit was down after the first. They didn't do much at all, but they also had 5 straight days without a game. Brian Murray must have got his troops rallied here for that second period, because they really did outplay the Stars. And now Minnesota's entire 84-game season rests on the next 20 minutes. And here to call the final regular season game in North Stars history is my daddy, Al.
All right, this is Chason with the puck. Flips it to...
Ask for them in your favorite style and color at Nordstrom.
Tonight's NHL Out of Town scoreboard is brought to you by Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers, where you can do it yourself, or we'll do it for you. 3-0 St. Louis, now up over Tampa Bay. It looks like Jablonski cannot come back to haunt his former team. The Blues looking to make the playoffs by picking up a win at home. And Toronto has taken a lead over Chicago. Toronto will play Detroit for the first-round playoffs. Philadelphia and Buffalo are knotted up at 3 apiece in their third period. Winnipeg leading Edmonton 1-0 in the second. And 2 games yet to start off in the western part of the country. Calgary and LA both on home base. And good period in the opener by the Stars. They jumped up into a 2-0 situation. But Detroit coming back with a couple more goals of their own here in the second period. And we're all knotted up at 2 apiece. And
the North Stars have had a problem this year with third periods. Well, they seem to start off good, and then they kind of fade, and you can see that trend sitting in here tonight. They've had very strong second periods. They didn't have such a good one here tonight, but the third period has been their weak period, so they still got to face that, and they're going to open short-handed, because at the 20-minute mark in the second period, Mike McDonald drew a high-sticking penalty. That was a bad penalty to take in a game like this at that particular time of the game. So the Stars will be one man short for 2 minutes to start off the third period. Meanwhile, those Blues are doing what Bob Berry, their coach, said earlier today that they had to do. They are winning and apparently are doing it very impressively down in St. Louis.
In fact, he said they had to win or they really don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and they're on the way. But the North Stars have a situation in their own hands right now. They're up 1-0, and Alfie Dolan doing the work as the Stars opened the period on the power play. It was centered out in front. It looked like the goaltender Chevelday had made the save, but a poke at the puck by Dolan put the Stars up by 2.
That two-goal lead lasted until 9:14. Big hit, Drake there, taking down Klatt in the corner. Then the puck is fed right to Drake. Good shot from the right circle, beats Casey, and the Red Wings are on the board. And then at 17:37, this is what happened. Wings come in. Eisbard gunning the shot there on a good high shot. Picked the corner nicely on feeds from both Lidstrom and Howe. So there you have what happened in the second period. And after 2 periods, the North Stars 19 shots, the Wings 21. It's still anybody's hockey game. It's a 2-2 tie. North Stars right in it. We go to the third period. Minnesota's leading shooter in the second period. Well, there wasn't one. They had a total of 9 shots by 9 different players. The Wings in the second period had 15 shots, and they were led by the defenseman Steve Chason, who had 3 of them. Eisbard had 2 and scored on one of them, of course. Ogrodnik had a couple, and Drake had a couple. So 1 period left, barring overtime. The North Stars and the Wings all even in the hockey game.
The third period of North Stars hockey is brought to you by Hardee's. Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's, and we're ready now for some real hockey, because the Stars have to win this game, folks, and with what's going on down in St. Louis, well, you can't control those things, but your destiny is in your own hands, and the Stars absolutely, positively must win this hockey game. And they're in a tie contest. They played well throughout this game, but now they're going to have to begin the third period here shorthanded with Mike McDonald sitting in the box. Detroit has already gone 1 for 3 on the power play in this game. And John Casey, we talked at the top of the show of how well he had to play in tonight's game. I think he's done a superb job. Really going to get tested here early on. Detroit was down after the first. They didn't do much at all, but they also had 5 straight days without a game. Brian Murray must have got his troops rallied for that second period, because they really did outplay the Stars. And Minnesota's entire 84-game season rests on the next 20 minutes. And here to call the final regular season game in North Stars history is my dad.
All right, this is Chason with the puck. Flips it to Coffey. Coffey back to Chason. And he overpasses Yzerman, but Ogrodnik is there to play it in deep. Casey back, clears it past Yzerman. Ogrodnik in the corner, round behind. This is Cicerelli. Page point, Coffey, across to Chason. Coffey, high slot. Scores! Coffey rips it. And Dino is in front. I don't know whether he touched it. He was the one who gave it back to the in the first place. And the Wings score their second power play goal. And they are 2 for 4 on the power play. And, of course, season 24.7% on the power play, which is top in the National Hockey League.
Rather ironic that the first shot on goal in each of the periods tonight has gone in the net. This is Paul Coffey unloading. It changes direction and goes top shelf on John Casey. There was a vicious screen set up in front of him. It was more like a garage door. And Casey had to go down for the look, but as the puck changed direction, it went upstairs. And Detroit now has their first lead of the game.
Coffey gets it. And for Coffey, that is his 13th of the season. Cicerelli.
And Chason hitting the shot.
So it's 3-2 Detroit. And Madonna's penalty, probably totally unnecessary, cost the North Stars. And now he's trying to break up the play by Yzerman. Yzerman lost the puck, pokes at it. Checked by Craig. The puck comes back to Cheveldae. And it's brought back to the net and fed to Gallant by Konstantinov. Relays to center. Ciccarelli in with Coffey. And the puck is cleared over the glass and out of play. And we'll have a face-off just inside the Minnesota zone. The New Jersey Devils ended Pittsburgh's 17-game winning streak last night with a 6-all tie, but we still like the Pens to win their third straight Stanley Cup. In 84 games this season, the Pens showed the NHL's best balance between offense and defense. Only 2 NHL teams have outscored their opponents by an average of better than a goal a game. The Pens ended up outscoring their opponents by 99 goals in 84 games. The only other team to outscore opponents by a goal a game is Detroit. In 83 games to date, the Wings have outscored their opponents by 87 goals. Now Kozlov tried to center, hit the side of the net. Hatcher clearing it ahead. Craig has it, gives it to Gagne. Gagne attacking now to McPhee, who fires it in. Backboard Coffey behind the net. Broken up by Gagne, and he fed off to Courtnall, who centered it and went rink wide. Long pass picked off at center by Hatcher. Gives it to Courtnall. Courtnall lost it, trying to get by a check. Played in by Gagne. Lidstrom there ahead of Dahlin. Now it's played around behind to the left side by Eisbart. And cleared by Kozlov as he ran into Dahlin. Matvichuk's pass off Gagne. And now here's Fedorov coming in. Gives it to Kozlov, and his centering pass goes rink wide. Dahlin slips it across on the right as the Stars come back. Matvichuk now to Klatt. He falls as he runs into Coffey. Coffey's pass hit Klatt. Still in the corner. Klatt battling for control. Comes back to the net against Coffey. Lost it. Turned and fell. Got up. Still gets the puck. Gives it to Dahlin. Dahlin in the corner. Gets jammed. And covered there by Coffey. And finally the puck loose. Matvichuk chopping at it. Keeping it in to Klatt. Klatt bothered by Fedorov, who clears the puck to the corner. Dahlin getting it. Puts it in front, and it goes off Ludwig. He centers it. It's cleared back to the net. Bobby Smith trying to put it in front. Coffey had the man in front tied up, and Cheveldae falls on the loose puck to get a stopping. Detroit leading 3-2, and this is North Stars hockey.
We're here in San Francisco to ask the experts why everyone loves the Hardee's Frisco Burger so much.
Sourdough bread.
Well, what could be more irresistible than Hardee's thick quarter-pound burger?
Sourdough bread.
How about the crispy bacon, sliced tomato, and melted Swiss?
A unique taste.
A perfect match for grilled sourdough.
Say, aren't you guys just a little biased?
Nope.
Hardee's Frisco Burger. What sourdough's been waiting for? And in the morning, enjoy a Hardee's Frisco breakfast sandwich.
Are you ready for some real food?
Hardee's. First, Buick was the talk of the show.
I am going to look at various cars, and the Buick definitely grabbed my eye, and I just think it's a great-looking car.
Now, Buick's the talk of the town during your Better Buick Auto Show Savings Spectacular. Save on every Buick, including LeSabre, the state's bestseller. Anniversary price to just $18,999, a $2,900 price rollback.
Buick has the right product that people want.
And we're lucky to have a Buick.
Yes.
Buick's Auto Show Savings Spectacular. Your Better Buick dealer now.
Detroit took the lead on a power play at the beginning of this period because he was in the penalty box. Mike Modano, he owes his team a goal.
By the way, that goal that put Detroit ahead by Coffey was Detroit's 367th goal this season. That ties them with Pittsburgh for the most goals in the NHL this season, 367 each. Now the puck is out of the Detroit, but it's a two-line offside pass. Kennedy goes down as he tripped over Chodin. They'll go back for a face-off in the Detroit zone. The Detroit Red Wings, a long-time member of the National Hockey League. The Detroit club has been part of the NHL since 1926, now in its 66th season in the league. Originally, the team was called the Cougars, but that name was changed to the Falcons in 1929. Then in 1932, James Pop Norris bought the club. He had once played for a team called the Wheelers, which he thought would be an appropriate name for the city that put America on wheels. on the front of Detroit's jerseys was sewn the famous winged wheel logo, and they became the Detroit Red Wings, which they've been for 60 years now. And some great Red Wing teams over the years. They've won the Stanley Cup more than any other U.S. team. This is Kennedy on a breakaway. He scored! Kennedy drew Casey way out, put him down, swung by him, stuck it in. Detroit leads by 2, 7-4-2. Kennedy.
You think maybe be Minnesota wanting to take the offensive chance now and then. But Kennedy rolled out towards center ice, picked up the puck, and he was solo on a breakaway from center on in. Casey tries to outguess him, making the first move, and Kennedy just deeps to the left, goes to the right, and slips it home. 4-2 Detroit. May have become the NHL's leading goal scorer team this season with that goal by Kennedy. His 19th on the year, and it's not looking promising for the North Stars at this moment.
Now the Wings again with O'Connor. Taken out by Chodin, dumps it in. Drake is after it. Casey clearing it to the corner. Ludwig wings it around behind, and it's off McPhee back in the Detroit zone. Cason takes over. Oh, put a shot right on his net. That'll keep Cheveldae away. Cason didn't intend to do that. The puck went off his stick, and Cheveldae had to make a save. Cheveldae has played in all 7 games against the North Stars this season. His record coming into this one against Minnesota, 4-1-1. 365 minutes against the North Stars. He gave up only 12 goals on 175 shots in the first 6 games. He's got a series goal average of 1.97 against Minnesota and a save percentage of .931. He's over his goals against average tonight because the Stars have beaten them twice. The 12 goals the North Stars scored in 6 games against Cheveldae included 6 at even strength, 5 on power plays, 1 shorthanded. And he shut out the North Stars in 8 of the first 18 periods he faced them. He is tough on Minnesota. He, Curtis Wilson, and Belfer in Chicago. Boy, they've been awful tough on the North Stars this year. And they're all in the North Stars division. Now a centering pass in the slot. Got by the intended receiver, Ogrodnik, and the Wings have to come back for it. Ogrodnik picking up the pass at center, feeding it ahead. Drake passes off. Now in Ogrodnik, a shot, knocked Casey down to make the save, and the rebound is cleared out, and the Wings are taking it over here now. Cason drives it in. The third period, as we mentioned earlier, has been the weak chink in the North Star armor this year. Modano in his hit the half. The Shink couldn't control. Clears to center, and this is Lidstrom. They finish the 5-minute mark in the third. Wings turn back with Ciccarelli to prevent an offside. Gives it to Kirby. His shot off stick will go out of play. 5-11 gone in the third period. It's Detroit 4, Minnesota 2, and this is North Star hockey.
If you're gonna hunt fish, Jack said, what better place than a lake named Lure, to which we unveiled some lethal weapons. Mine, a Pope Fields pocket fisherman, and from Beth, a bucket of trawlers from Old Milwaukee. Can it get any better than this, Jack said? Of course, that was before a 10-pound bass sniffing the old mill found in net. But as I reassured Jack, it doesn't matter who caught dinner. As long as it's served with Old Milwaukee, it doesn't get any better than this.
If you were to pick anyone from our design center or truck line in California, or the Camry line in Kentucky, it's dedication. Take the first person you see at our Michigan or Indiana facilities. It's a matter of commitment. And show them the latest quote praising a Toyota product. They'd simply say,
it's great. Making it better.
People think Toyota's reputation was built on the strength of its products, when in fact it was built on the strength, pride, and commitment of a lot of people.
It means putting your name on the line.
Puck cleared back in Detroit zone. Cheveldae setting it up for Coffey, who takes a look from behind the net. Check it to Lidstrom. Dumps it in. It got by Ludwig. He goes after it along with Hazelman. Loose in front, and Chodin is there to cover up. Tommy Chodin. Drop pass. Back to Chodin. In front. Backhand shot. Save. Low. Chodin wraps it. It deflects wide off escapes. Smith puts it behind. Played to the near boards. Kicked it there and cleared by Gallant on out to center. Ciccarelli to Eisenman. Look out! He scores!
North Stars taking offensive chances. Tommy Shodin carried the play up ice. There was only one defenseman back. And as the North Stars had 4 players down inside the hash mark, Detroit moved it out of the zone. The cross-ice pass from Gallant to Ciccarelli, who springs a breakaway effort off to number 19, Eisenman. He buries it. 5-2 Detroit. And it's looking more and more like this franchise is history.
Wings in again. This is Fedorov. Shot. Casey slides to save. And now North Stars with Hatcher putting it to center for McPhee. Got the first goal of the hockey game. Stars move in. Broken up on the near board. Kozlov clears it. Rink wide. Eisbart after it. He's taken out by Hatcher. Keeps on trying. In the corner, Barry. Played around behind. Kozlov is after. Got jammed from behind on the play by Gagne. And the Stars take over. Out they come with McPhee controlling. Into the zone. Pass Courtnall. Back to McPhee. A shot. Chevrolet covers it. And makes the save. Wins back with Fedorov now. Long pass. Comes in the zone. Deep. Eisbart chases it. It went off Kozlov's stick to come in the zone. Poked around behind Casey. And this is Bobby Smith. Probably, not definitely, but probably playing his best game as a North Star tonight. Now Fedorov cleared to the line. Dahlin kept it in, tried to put it in the slot, but it's intercepted. And Chason has it at center. Drops it back. Konstantinov fires it in deep. Casey behind the net, brings it to the left. Pass Probert. Wings keep it in. Probert playing it in deep. Wings really in control here now. Pass off. Chason comes out to center. And Konstantinov gets to it. High pass is gloved down. Brought back in. Kennedy to Burr. Put it in front. And it's deflected away to the right corner. Now the Stars try to come. This is Duchesne with it. Long shot. Wide left. Big rebound. Probert. Probert. Burr. Play pass Duchesne. Chason comes back to the zone. Ties there. With Duchesne. The puck went loose and is cleared. And now Hatcher pass. Too far for Trop. The Wings play it back in, and it's cleared out immediately. Burr banking it off the boards. And the North Stars start right back in. This is Barry firing. Chevrolet blocks, sweeps it to his left. Broughton has the puck. There's nobody in front. They're changing. Now Broughton doing all the work himself. Off a good shot, making Chevrolet make a big save, and he recovers the puck for a stoppage. Detroit leads 5-2. This is North Stars hockey.
First, Buick was the talk of the show.
I ended up going to look at various cars, and the Buick definitely grabbed my eye, and I just think it's a great car.
Now Buick's the talk of the town. Your Buick dealer auto show saving spectacular. Save on every Buick, including LeSabre, the state's bestseller. Anniversary price to just $18,999, a $2,900 price rollback.
Buick has the right product that people want.
And we're lucky to have a Buick.
Yes.
Buick's auto show saving spectacular at your better Buick dealer now.
Stars Hockey, speeding towards you all season long on Midwest Sports Channel.
By looking at that bench, you get the hunch the end is near.
I wonder what that man in the blue suit is thinking. He's probably already thinking about next season, and it has to be done to make the Minnesota North Stars a contender as they were 2 years ago when they went all the way to the final.
Heck, as they were 2 months ago. They were 6th overall in the league at the All-Star break.
Well, they've got to get more depth in the organization, that's for certain. They're still trying to overcome the loss of all the players in the split with San Jose. But that shouldn't take long. They have all their drafts this year. They didn't have their second rounders last year. That hurt them. But from now on, they'll have all their draft picks, and that's got to help.
You know, you talk about what was going through Bob Gainey's mind, but I know a lot of people have asked me about you. You're 65 years old now.
You don't have to rub it in, kid.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to get myself a new pair of slippers, an easy chair, put my feet up, and watch the world go by. Barry clearing it away from in front as he's slashed by Obrodnik. And back come the North Stars. Bobby Smith from flat. The Dahlin pokes at it. It goes back of the net, and the Wings take over. It's cleared on down the ice, skidding on edge. Casey comes out, feeds a pass on a rocking puck. Hatcher dumps it ahead. Smith tried to pass. It was blocked by Gallant. Hatcher breaks it up. And now Smith rink-wides it in. Dahlin pivoting back against Konstantinov, but gives it away to Cicerelli. Now to Gallant. Gerard Gallant on a crisscross to Yzerman. Look out, he fired, and Casey had this one covered. Yzerman has only 1 point tonight. That was that last Detroit goal. Only 4 players in NHL history have ever scored 150 points in a single NHL season. Yzerman is one of them. He had 155 points in 1988 and 89. The other members of that exclusive club are Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Phil Esposito. Yzerman came into this game with 136 points. He now has 137. Lemieux finished with 157 this year. He was the league's only 150-point man. Probably will be at the end. By the way, the Wings are going to finish as the highest scoring team in the NHL. Here's a shot by Cicerelli, blocked, rebound, hit the traffic. Another shot deflects away in the right corner. Gallant keeping it in to Cicerelli, wrap around, deflected behind by Casey. Cleared to the left side. Duchesne has it, kicks it with a skate, comes back in the corner. Around behind, it's got by Ludwig. Broughton is back. Broughton in there, hustling all the way. As he always has as an All-Star, as a Golden Gopher, and as a member of the Roseau High School teams and the U.S. Olympic team won the gold medal in 1980. Here's a shot by Gallant that's knocked down. Cicerelli tied up in the crease. The puck is still in the zone. Finally, it's Broughton who brings it out. At the Detroit line, he runs into Chason. His pass hit Chason's skate. Prop recovers the puck. Now Fedorov has it. Our Stars appear to be tiring here rather rapidly. In front, Hatcher tied up a man. Chason got a shot off that hit a defender. Going off Ciccone. Now Fedorov in the corner. Got by one check, put it in front, but it goes rink wide. Here's a drive by Eisbard as he turned and shot it wide to the right. Puck comes off the boards right in front, and Casey down, scrambling to cover a loose in the goal crease.
Well, the North Stars just aren't doing the things that they were doing in the first period, and that's working the boards, out-muscling the Red Wings. Detroit has just taken over and totally in control of this game. It's 5-2, Detroit leading with 8:14 left to go. And out of St. Louis, the Blues have now opened up a 4-0 lead over the Tampa Bay club. And it looks like it's just a matter of 8:14 left in the history of the Minnesota North Stars.
I think the fat lady is already warming up in the bullpen.
Put a fork, potato, it's done.
Well, you know, the Red Wings are going to finish as the highest scoring team in the NHL this year, and it'll be the first time they've done that back in the Gordie Howe era, 1952 and 53, back in the era of the production line of Lindsay, Delvecchio, and Howe. It's been a long time. That's 40 years since Detroit was the highest scoring team in the league. They've had some real downers in seasons between then and now.
When you look back at the games you've seen over there, do you have one that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, golly, there have been so many great ones. The one I really remember was that goal that the North Stars in the playoffs in their third year that Perrant never saw. Long shot from center by Barry Gibbs. The North Stars won the game 1-0. The only goal scored, and that put them in the playoffs and put Philadelphia out. Second last game of the season for Minnesota. It was the last game for Philly.
And he shot that from center.
Yes, he did. And Perrant lost it. He said after the game there was light coming through a door at the other end of the rink. And I guess it's disturbed his concentration on the shot. He never saw it. He never moved.
That's a pretty feeble excuse.
Well, one's as good as the other. You and I have come up with some good ones in our day, too. Now the puck in the Minnesota zone. Matvichuk, the young defenseman, putting it on out to center. We're down to the final 7 minutes of the hockey game. Probert to Kennedy, circling back, bringing it in. Tied up by Matvichuk. Had it in front. Casey blocked it. It goes back to the net and into the net. The faceoff will come in the Minnesota zone. Well, it's nice to see a Howe still in the Detroit lineup. Mark Howe still playing and playing well. Over as a free agent from Philadelphia, where he played last season and had only 25 points, but was able to play in only 42 of the Flyers' 80 games because of injuries. Howe still holds the Philadelphia club record for the most points in one season by a defenseman. He had 82 points in the 85-86 season when he played in 77 of the 80 games. Howe has never spent much time in the NHL penalty box. Only 415 minutes in his 807 career games up to the end of last season. He's averaged just 32 penalty minutes in each of 13 NHL seasons. He came into this game tonight with only 22 penalty minutes in 59 games. So he's not too far removed from the gentleman we talked about earlier, Bill Quackenbush, who once played a whole 6-game season for Detroit without taking a single penalty.
I tell you, he's not too far removed from the accomplishments his father, Gordie Howe, had made over the years.
No, that's true.
In fact, Mark, I don't know if you mentioned it, but he's the highest scoring defenseman in the history of pro hockey, with over 500 points in the WHA.
Centering pass off Chason stick. He recovers, but it's broken up in the slot. Duchesne clearing it out. Courtnall overskates it. This is Chason feeding Probert. This pass is partially blocked. Chodin recovers. Gives it to McPhee. McPhee over to Ludwig. Oh, I'd like to see Luddy get one, but Shovelday beats him with a big pad save. Puck still in the zone. Jason starting the playback now. This is Jim Hiller. Drops it off. Break shot is off the mark. Ogrodnik lets it come back to the right point. Konstantinov in deep. In picking up Konstantinov and Lidstrom last year, the Wings really strengthened on defense. They were two very fine additions coming over in the season. Now here's Jason drilling wide. Modano after. Konstantinov's got him covered. Sticking with him all the way. What a great, solid defensive play that was by Konstantinov. Now Ogrodnik. Pass blocked by Modano. Recovered and brought in by Craig. Chason ties him up. Look at the way those Detroit defensemen play. Konstantinov taking Duchesne, and now Ogrodnik lobbing it high. It's gloved down by Barry. Barry playing it back in. Here's a chance in the slot. Broughton, good move. Never got the shot off. They will give a penalty to Chason for holding. And Broughton forced him to take that, but a great effort there by Neil Broughton. And Detroit takes its 5th penalty of the game for 10 minutes. That's going to even up penalties. All minors to both teams, 5 for 10 minutes. Detroit 2 for 4 on the power play. The Stars 0 for 3. In the penalty, or in the shot department, Detroit has its 5 goals on 29 shots. The Stars have 2 on 26.
A moot point right now, but a nice effort here by Neil Broughton. Does some nice stepping around at the blue line, gets away from 2 players, cruises in, but the hook by Chason is in there. He cannot get the shot on goal. Referee Bill McCreary was on the spot, and Neil's really put in a good solid effort here in the 3rd period and all game long, and I don't think there's a guy who plays with more heart than Neil does. And he's getting everything he can to get this team into the playoffs.
This is the corner for Gagne. In catcher, shot, save, rebound. Dahlin whacking and whacking and whacking. And Shovelday makes the save. Down in front, helping to cover up.
All feet 15 feet the goal line. He was wide open, took the pass, and just shot it into the traffic in the crease. Cheveldae has had himself a pretty busy period. Actually, a busy game. He's had some close-in shots at him. Very high-quality North Stars shots.
Face up to the shoulder will be Eiserman. Fedorov against Gagne. Fedorov cleared to the line. It's down and kept in there at the point. Tony played in deep. Makes that very at the point now. Long shot from the opposite point by Shodin goes wide. It's Hatcher at that point. We'll get him right yet. Now it's back to Shodin and a from Dolan. Back to Dolan. Powell hooking at him. Stick in there all legally. Now Gagne to Hatcher. The shot off a stick. Dolan off balance, tried to keep it in, but it's cleared. And Hatcher back to Shodin. Flicked it up. Appeared to hit in the facial area. Coffey now clear. North Stars still on the power play. Shodin. Hatcher runs into Lidstrom. Battling for it. This is Courtnall. Lidstrom right on him. Look at them check. Whoa, nice to watch.
Yeah, they work so well. They play the penalty kill aggressively. They rotate when somebody makes a move out of their formation.
Courtnall, Madonna, never got a shot off. Had two chances there. Off balance, he went down. I'm wondering if that comment in the Detroit paper today has upset him. He's off the game tonight. He's been very unnoticeable. Puck cleared down. Casey starts to play back to Ludwig. His hit Madonna on the skate, and here comes Lidstrom. Wings back. A drop. It got away from Eiserman. Back to the net. Lidstrom couldn't get it. And the Stars sitting at center. It goes to Konstantinov, however. He dumped it in. This is Matvichuk. Gets to Ludwig. Ludwig slips it to center for the Dukes. And the Dukes pass picked up by Cicerelli. Deflected to center. Chason waiting for Cirelli to get inside. Drives in deep and winds around behind. Eiserman lost it. Konstantinov blasted it. Right. Left Chason. In deep now. Cicerelli fell. And his pass comes to Duchesne. Duchesne to center. It got by Klatt. And going after it, he ran into a check from Chason. Konstantinov is there to touch up and get the ice call. We're down to the final 1 minute and 50 seconds in the 26-year history of the Minnesota North Stars.
You've seen a lot of these boys in the green, gold, black come through over the years. Do you remember any really strange or wacky
characters? Yes, I sure do.
Oh,
how much time have you got?
We've got 158. Start.
The weirdest one was a guy by the name of John Flesh. To work he was. I'll tell you. He was a Carter. He's the guy who used to sit in the box and run. Never wore a helmet. He'd slam himself on the forehead with a stick. He once got mad at something he'd done in a restaurant one day, and he picked a glass ashtray up and just about knocked himself. He slammed it against his forehead. Oh, he was a beauty.
Wasn't he the one that used to...
Great guy. He was a great guy, though.
But he used to trip down occasionally in the dressing room between periods, take a shot, and get ready to come back out.
He shot between periods after the pregame skate. He sweated a lot, I guess. Now, Kennedy Probe. And as McDonald got it back. Now, feed to Craig. Look at that back there to cover. Howe. You can't experience. Howe breaks up that charge as he takes down Barry along the board. One man back. This is Burr passing off, and Kennedy's shot is blocked by the defender, Shodin. And now puck is cleared back into the Detroit zone. And we're just 1 minute away from the end right now. Puck is back in the North Star zone. Hatcher feeds left. Matchuk flips it across to Gagne. Into the Detroit zone against Chason. Back, Courtnall shot. They say they score! It deflected it off the traffic in front back into the net. And that will be the last goal probably in the history of the Minnesota North Stars. It comes at the 19-minute and 11-second mark of the third period.
Remember the number 32, Alfie Dolan taking a chop at it out of the air. Watches it. It comes down the right side. The first blast is on target. It's in the air. Dolan actually gets a second try at it. And Alfie picking up 2 goals in this game tonight. That being his 5th of the year right there. Rounds it out for the Stars. We'd like to remind you that this program is authorized under television granted by the Minnesota North Stars Hockey Club, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Minnesota Stars Hockey Club is prohibited.
Now the puck back in the Minnesota zone. Ludwig to Gagne. Dolan has 35 goals. Gagne in on a shot, and that goes wide to the left. Ogrodnik loses out to Dolan, but it's cleared away from him now. Then Dolan, get the hat trick. Alfie to Gagne, trying to slip in as he ran into Chisa, went right across the front of an open net, and now Ogrodnik clearing it to center. It's Ludwig giving it to Dolan. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and it's all over. The Stars lose it here, 5-3. And now it's pack 'em up time, and on to Dallas. We wish them good luck, and to all the North Stars over the past 26 years, we say thank you, all of you, for so much fine entertainment. It's been a pleasure knowing you. Minnesota's loss is definitely a game for Dallas, and a big one. We thank you, though, from the bottoms of our heart for all the wonderful nights at the center, when you've given us so much entertainment and you've been such a credit to the community in which you're played. We will still remember you as the Minnesota North Stars.
Third period of this game has been brought to you by Hardee's. Ready for some food? Hardee's. Stars heading off into the dressing room for the last time of this season. The Stars next season will get going with a training camp in September down in Dallas, Texas. And you've got a lot of memories over the years, folks. And they're the greatest one.
Good game, Neil. Hard to the end. Okay, that's it. We'll be back from Joe Louis Arena in a moment. 3 Detroit, and this is North Stars Hockey.
We're here in San Francisco to ask the experts why everyone loves the Hardee's Briscoe Burger so much.
Sourdough bread.
Well, it would be more irresistible than Hardee's thick 4-pound burger.
Sourdough bread.
How about crispy bacon, like tomato, and melted Swiss?
A unique taste.
A perfect match for grilled sourdough.
Say, aren't you guys just a little biased?
Nope.
Hardee's Briscoe Burger. What sourdough's been waiting for? And in the morning, enjoy Hardee's Briscoe breakfast sandwich.
Ready for some real food?
Hardee's. His mysterious life hides a haunting secret. You heard of other shapeshifters?
What would telling you get me?
Now, future unlocks the key to his past.
The calling of the changeling.
But tell me where it is.
I have to show you.
To learn the truth. The prison. Odo risk his life. I give my prison. Then you can die with him. On an all Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Tuesday at 7 on Minnesota 9.
You've got to see it to believe it. Oh, you can have it all. You'll never fall. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America. There's a place for fun in your life, Mall of America.
Every 60 seconds, lights form a teepee. Ooh, that was beautiful.
It is a nice place to meet eligible gentlemen.
The final score here at Joe Arena tonight, the Red Wings 5, the North Stars 3, giving Detroit the season series 5 games to 1 tie. Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. He is the great captain of the Detroit Red Wings, Steve Yzerman.
They've had some greats over the years, but the man there, Steve Yzerman, certainly an outstanding player. He's new Detroit Red Wings, has been a few years, and going to miss seeing guys like him around the National Hockey League, at least in Minnesota, and we come to a close here of pro hockey in Minnesota.
Well, Walt, it took 26 years for it to happen. But it was fun being in with you tonight.
It was a great time.
Thank you for all your help.
I enjoy it.
Okay. I want to thank Ralph Scranton, Doug McLeod, our producer Tommy Me, and all the wonderful people we've had an opportunity to work with here tonight. Thank you. It's been our pleasure. Minnesota North Stars hockey, produced by the North Stars and aired through the facilities of KNSP. For Wally Shaver, Strangis, and Doug McLeod, our producer Tom Me, and our entire Minnesota North Stars television crew here in Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Good night, everybody.